Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the size, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. OnChain revolution, Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy, on the channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live on the OnChain Hour, and today's show is going to be awesome, guys, because we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. One of the things is a BRC 22.0 project raising 5 Bitcoin. Yeah, insanity. All that's going to their LP pool, which is crazy. We're going to be talking about some can't miss plays to hold to the end of the year. Solana DeFi is just exploding as well. Really awesome stuff. We did get some economic data this morning, basically showing that we're in line with expectations. Everyone's kind of expecting the numbers that we're getting, and we're getting them perfectly in line. So I don't know what that means for the rate cut. It is looking like Poly Market is very happy with what is happening, but nothing really matters until we get the CPI on the 10th and the PPI on the 10th and the CPI on the 11th of September. So it's going to be a waiting game till then. What do we do? Does Bitcoin keep dropping? I mean, we're at 108 right now. Does Bitcoin hit 98? Me and Yagobi were just talking about it. It was like, is that the worst case scenario? Or could we see 88 or 78 even? I don't know, guys. It's one of those things where I'm so bullish for the end of the year, but we got to still get through August and we got to get through September. So what happens in the meantime? Who knows? And honestly, who cares, right? We're so positive about what is about to happen in November, December, January, February. I'm bullish until May. I think March, April, May are going to be one of the 3 bullish months that ever existed. So I'm really excited for that. But who knows, right? So that's kind of our show. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you're supposed to know. So I don't know. We're going to figure it out, though. We'll figure it out together. But without further ado, let's bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
How are you feeling with this? I just feel a little all over the place. I don't even know what to expect anymore.
Yeah. It's been an up and down emotional roller coaster, I think, since I would even say since June, because you're excited about Bitcoin and Ethereum making this, really strong bounce up, and still not being easy to navigate in the alt markets, really, right? And so, a lot of people that have the experience, they're here, for these 10, 20, 50, 100x tokens, and trying to get in early and be smart and be ahead of retail and all that stuff hasn't worked out exactly how it has in previous cycles, right? But I do think that there's going to be a time when it does get easier. I've mentioned this on yesterday's show. Once we're in Q4, look, and if you go back to our shows from June and July, I mean, we called that rise up with Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially Ethereum. Really, I said it extends to the middle of August, and I think sometimes when you might be right about something, or like it's bullish, and you just feel that bullish energy, at least from those calls, then you kind of hang on to that, right? And I think that's what happened the last 2 weeks of Ethereum. And it was easy to get sucked into that. Ethereum literally was at 4,900 last week, right? Almost $5,000 last week. But that's how fast things move in the space. I do think things get easier, but it's going to be later. It's going to be when we're already, some things need to happen with the Fed cut, with risk on quantitative easing, some good news from, the current administration in terms of the economy, look what it looks like heading into 2026. And we're just not there yet, right? We're not there yet. And so what I would say for me, at least, is I'm telling myself, this is probably one of the harder times to really dig deep, but you got to do it. If you've been here, especially over 12 months, the last 12 months, and you kind of lose focus right now in this kind of, I guess, in between purgatory area of, okay, in get through September. October is typically when things start to get a little bit even more bullish for the alts. We have that rate cut in, and then November, December is the easier plays start to happen. And sometimes whenever you lose focus and disconnect before that, you never really reconnect. And I think that would be really unfortunate for people that have been waiting this entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people are here for the long term, right? If you're still here, if you made it through the last 2 years, right? So I'm not really too concerned about that. My concern is the short term. Just having people staying checked in fully, not just being like you're out, you check in on Tuesday, you come back Thursday, right? I think that's what a lot of people are doing right now. A lot of people aren't checking their Twitter feeds as much as they used to and stuff like that. So my thing is, so right now we are a day before a holiday weekend, right? This is the last trading day of the month. There's a lot of things right now. August is over, heading in September with the rate cut. So there's a lot of things that are happening just in the next 4 days. I mean, we get a new dot on Plan B's monthly chart, gonna basically still say that we're bullish, right? Staying above 110 would be absolutely amazing going into the into Monday, basically. So can we get that? Maybe, potentially, who knows, right? But I think that would be a key factor for me to stay bullish in September. I think you got to stay above 110, 112.
Yeah. We were looking at what the possibilities for Bitcoin would be. We kind of drew out the worst case scenario. We drew out maybe a probable scenario, which I'm kind of confident in that, ranging between 107 and 110 for a bit, right? Because that was that kind of previous takeout. It's a little confusing because we've had two kind of stair steps to the upside, but if you just kind of take that leg and then compare it to the previous leg, that what it did previous, you kind of hit that low, which was the previous high. That would bring us to where we are right now. One would be maybe high 106 all the way to 110, ranging back and forth. I think that is a probable situation. I think it's a healthy situation. But if we break down below, lose complete support, because that's a possibility too. If you look below that, there isn't really too many support levels, right? If it breaks down below. And that's where you start playing with the idea of 100K and below. I just, I know a lot of times we say, well, we'll never see this under 100,000. I truly felt that way before the last. The last time we said that, the first couple of times, I think we were just like emotionally engulfed into it got to 105, 109 the first couple of times, and it pulled back. But this last time, I think it was literally the fourth or fifth time it crossed over 100K, and this time it had that confident move to the upside, getting to 115 and then getting to obviously the all-time high of 124. So I still feel really good about not getting back below 100,000. Worst case scenario, anything can happen in crypto, but so I feel confident about this range of 106 to 110 for Bitcoin. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I personally would love to close the day back at 110. I think that would be a very healthy move. Traders do go to their they go to lunch around this time. Probably a lot of traders honestly took today off. That's what it kind of feels like too. There's not much going on because they are off Monday as well. But let's kind of get into the our number one topic today, which is don't miss these plays for the end of the year. What are some plays you think are can't miss? I was thinking about this for a while, and for me, obviously, I have three. My number one is probably dog. I think dog is a cannot miss for the end of the year. I think dog it rips insane. My number two is hustle. I think agent hustle is going to be absolutely massive. I mean, there's some news that we're gonna have Jake on the show later, and maybe he can say something about that. But we're hearing about potential things happening outside the Solana ecosystem as well, which could be absolutely massive for them if that is true. And then on top of that, potentially what happens with that. And I think I'm getting really bullish on that GOAT token. I don't know why. There's something about it that really got me right now. That I'm thinking if the guy with 400,000 new followers this year and they're active followers, right? What's his name? James Wynn.
Yeah,
James Wynn. When James Wynn is just somebody who has been the main character of this cycle, and if he's basically saying, "Hey, I think this is the next Pepe," it could be. So for me, I think it's dog. I think it's agent hustle, and maybe a Solana meme coin, whether it's GOAT or the next big one. But it has to be a newer one. I don't think the older stuff really takes advantage of this. What are some can't miss plays for you for the end of the year?
So I'm glad that you went that route because I feel like you definitely went into the risk on route, which is fine. You know what I mean? And I'm going to take the. Well, I'm just saying categorically, right? Categorically, if you were to do put them all into like two different buckets right now, it might be the least risky of the ones that you said, but it's still kind of over there. So I'll take the other route because I wanted to talk about DATs a little bit here too. Yeah. So I think that was perfect setup the way that you went into that, and I agree with those. And I think the riskiest play that you talked about was GOAT, but it has the most upside because of who's behind it. So, but love your picks there. I would say for me, I'm going to take the other end of the spectrum, which is they've been around for cycles and stuff like that. And DATs are what they actually stand for is
digital asset
treasuries.
Treasuries.
Yeah, digital asset treasuries, right? So the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because I feel like this is an institutional meta right now that people like us should pay a little bit of attention to if you want your portfolio to be split up into, safe, medium, and risk, right? And so for me, I'm looking at something like Hyperliquid, right? Hyperliquid with you got, people like Arthur Hayes saying that like the huge upside on it. I'm seeing that a DAT has formed for Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is that hot, flashy new, cheerleader at the school or whatever, right? And so everybody's kind of like, oh, I want to date her. I want to, learn more about, that token or whatever. And so I think it could really propel up aggressively. And I expect more DATs to pour into it. Okay. So that's one. Second one, I think that's being really overlooked right now. But this is definitely if you can move large, if you can use larger amounts of money to be able to capital to be able to do in something like this. But BNB is starting to get DATs as well. Now, BNB is a high market cap. I get that, but it is like overperforming, even though it's under mentioned, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's like it hit all-time highs like a couple of weeks ago. So that might be one that you were like, okay, if I want a really safe one, I think, but that could explode in that group of blue chips still. I think BNB could be a safer play. And my last one is Crow. Because I feel like Chronos, they are forming DATs as well. And I got all this data actually from ChatGPT, researching with ChatGPT this morning, because, obviously you have the Bitcoin DAT, you have the group, and you have the Ethereum. And so honorable mention outside of Chronos, because let me get into Chronos. The reason why I picked Chronos though is because of what they're doing on what they're kind of, mover and shaker side of things. They're like, getting partnered up with the right people. With the Trump media company is a DAT that's pouring into them. Trump media company is forming a DAT that's pouring into Crow right now, right? And Crow isn't necessarily like the most popular token or, always talked about. It's another one that's a little bit under the radar if you're thinking of blue chips and safe plays, which, I know you and I, we're in this to kind of get a lot of those huge upside ones, but this could be like in that safe category, guys, that you're looking at. Honorable mention, Sonic. Getting information that DATs are forming for Sonic, which is big, right? So those are some of the kind of larger market caps if you're looking for that, and might be a slower mover, but in the heat of the market, that they can 2x to 5x. Those are something that could do something like that, right? So that's what I'm thinking. But love your plays.
5x. Nobody's here for 2 to 5x.
Well, there are some people that have big enough capital that are coming in and trying to learn a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's the problem with some of our space, is that we look at like a 5x as like a loser win. That's not
in a bull market. It is in a bull. If Bitcoin
maybe
reaches 200, if Ethereum goes 10,000, and you're sitting there with BNB, which is already ran, and Crow and stuff like that, you
if you have 50K
your portfolio.
If you have 50K and you turn it into 250, I think people that want that risk appetite, that level
for
of
a
risk
once in a 4-year chance,
you're
gonna be happy with a 4x.
Well, I think that we both agreed that like the 4-year cycle is gonna be changed a bit. You're saying that 2026 is gonna be 2026 is gonna still be like a really bullish year, like all through the year.
Part of the 4-year cycle. Yeah, I mean,
not necessarily like the first
2018
quarter
was the bullish year. I've been saying May.
Q1.
So for me, that's Q1, a little bit of Q2, but you got to remember too is like we've been pushed back a little bit. We've been delayed. So you're going to delay the cycle with this Trump tariff stuff. You're gonna need to put that somewhere. So in me, I think the 4-year cycle is still here, and I think a 4-year cycle to me is a top and a bottom, and I think we're going to get that every 4 years, no matter if it's in the back end or it's in the beginning.
Yeah, I just think that there's people that do have that type of appetite, right? That are like, okay, I want a more safe appetite. They don't need they don't need to hit a lotto ticket. Like they're already decently well off.
MicroStrategy.
I think that's horrible advice to buy MicroStrategy, especially heading into the next couple of years.
No, they're going to be $1 trillion asset. I think that's the safest bet in crypto. That's MicroStrategy.
Well, if that
besides Bitcoin, of course.
then you don't think Saylor is going to have any issue ever then?
I just think that he's acquired so much Bitcoin, and with Bitcoin price appreciation, he's going to get to a point where he's 5x his money, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So if the worst day ever happened to him, he has to sell a little Bitcoin. Still not terrible for a guy who holds 500,000 Bitcoin.
I mean, they did dump. MicroStrategy did pull back after that news of being able to dilute the shares, though. So stuff like that doesn't make like the holder necessarily very happy, right? I'm just saying,
we both know Bitcoin's going to $1 million, right? So 500. So he's going to have close to $1 trillion in Bitcoin value at some point.
But why would he even care about his stock anymore?
He doesn't.
What I mean? That's what I'm saying. So why would you want to buy that?
Because that's the company that holds the Bitcoin. It's not Saylor, but MicroStrategy. So if MicroStrategy is holding $1 trillion in Bitcoin, they got to be valued at $1 trillion.
I mean, in logically, yeah, you would think so, but they also feel like there's definitely a possibility of risk. He's proven, he's been doing this strategy since 2022, so you got to hand it to him for that.
2020
or 2020, sorry, he's got through the 2022 bear market, which was really, really tough. But he is definitely dealing with a lot larger capital moving around. But I think this is good to mix it up to be the risk on, and just to say, okay, these are, because I do think like the DAT, whether you get into those assets or they trickle down, they will affect a lot of the crypto market. We're just not seeing it as much yet.
Yeah, I do agree with you though. I think they're all going to go up. But like, if I was going to get in BNB, I would get into Cake. If I was going to get into Sonic, I would get into Shadow. if I was going to get into Chronos, I would find the #1 application there and get into that.
So
For me, that's the advantage. Crow goes up, that thing 10x's. Sonic goes up, Shadow 10x's. Like same one with Pancake, right?
So
that's
why
the place
not
where I would
get
fall.
into those, roll the profits down as they go up? You know what I'm saying? Because that's I think that's a smart
Because
play,
you're buying them higher. So if you buy, let's just say you buy BNB, it goes up 20%. The cakes will be already up 80%. You know what I mean? And you're basically buying someone's bags at that point. So for me, I think it's better just to get in those assets now and just be patient.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's going to be opportunities if you do get into these blue chips that have. So the whole point of my side was talking about the positive effects of the DAT part, right? This treasury part, and it's going to trickle down, right? So yes, I agree that like you look for the kind of beta plays from like Crow and stuff like that. You know, but if you get in knowing that there's already DATs forming right now, just like Solana, for example, right? If you would have got in at like 170, knowing that like this DAT company was about to pump 100 or 200 million into it, you sell it at like 200, you get in the GOAT, you know what I mean, or something like that. I mean, it's
I just
$30.
don't feel like I don't think you need to trade this bull run. Just find the projects now, be patient, and just wait. That's what I'm doing with Hustle. That's what I'm doing with Dog, and that's what I would do with like a project
I agree with some of them, but it's right now it's really hard which ones to pick. I'm telling you, like it is, because there's so many to choose from. Like even like the conversations you and I have, like you're sitting there like, man, like I think I want to do this. And I'm like, that there's logic behind that. And then you're like, okay, but then like you just came from an area that we talked like a month and a half ago, and we both were like, yeah, that seems to be like the logical play, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? Or you know, and so my point that I'm making is like, if you do need some of this kind of less risky part, these are some options. That's it.
No, I agree. No, I think it's a great conversation to have, right? For people, and then doing both could be a good idea too, right? Being
if you have like
well,
that
no,
large
if you
capital.
have a $5,000 portfolio, putting $1,000 into something like BNB and then putting $1,000 into something like Cake could be like equivalent to putting $3,000. You know what I mean? Because the Cake's going to move double the move of BNB, right? So like doing strategies like that could be really good as well. I mean, you don't need to be as high risk as I'm saying or as safe as you're saying. You can do a mixture of both.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Like, it doesn't matter how much you have, I guess, but like, you know, if you do have, let's say you had a larger amount, like 50K, and then with the 50K, you say, you know, 30K, I put more in the safer, and then 20K, I'm like, you know, having
Well, I mean, it's
more
the
of
same
a
thing.
risk gamble.
Just use percentages instead of money wise. So if you have a 5K portfolio and a 50K portfolio, it doesn't matter how much you're going to make. It's all about percentage. Like I want to make, 5, 10x. So if you have $5,000 portfolio or 50, you're still getting 5, 10x, no matter how much it is, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's relative, but like, you know, if you make 15 or like 10,000 or 15,000 from a $30,000 investment, that feels okay. It doesn't feel bad. But and then on that 20,000, you get lucky, or you know, hit some of these that are running really hard, and then you turn that into 100K. I think you'll be happy with 115,000. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. I mean, the lower you got, the more risky you got to be to
exactly.
I mean, but it depends too. I mean, $5,000 could be a lot of money to somebody, So I mean, 45 years ago, it was to me. So, but the next part of this is Fed rate cut pretty much locked in. I want to argue this a little bit. So I don't think it's locked in. I think the PCE data to be got today is 100% looking good. CPI and PPI are the two numbers that I highly see as being huge factors, right? But a lot of people are saying now the Fed don't care about inflation anymore. The Fed just wants jobs numbers and wants that up. So that could be locked. That could be the reason why you'd say locked in here. But CPI is Thursday, September 11th, and PPI is Wednesday, September 10th. So we are about 11, 12 days away from these. So it is hard to say it's locked in, but then it's 5 days after the CPI, we're going to get Jerome's speech and hopefully a rate cut.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it ever this high for this close to being, to the rate cut date.
I wouldn't say this close. We're 20 days out.
17th. So yeah, yeah, you're right. I keep thinking there's 30 days in this month, but either way, it's that would have been 18 to 20. Okay, so let's say 2.5 weeks, right? Or whatever, like almost there, right? So that I don't think that that's too long, but 86%, like going into the month, I think that's a pretty strong percentage. Now we've seen it swing. I think the highest I've seen it swing away was right at 70, but we still had about a full month left to go. And so I just feel like I feel pretty confident with it. I feel confident with the way he spoke at Jackson Hole. I think the reason why that it isn't like 90 yet is I think there's a lot of manipulation happening with Polymarket with this. I think that market makers definitely want to utilize that window or keep that door open so people aren't as confident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, that we have seen positive heading into the next month or about to head into the next month, and it flipped. But I said, I haven't seen this much strength. Now it did jump up quite a bit. Actually, we're at 86% right now. So for us to be at 86%, no change, pull back 3%. It makes me more confident. Let's see where we are. I would say probably at the end of the first week of September. But I feel like we're pretty locked in.
If CPI comes in hot, we're back in the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be pretty drastic, I think.
I think if it just comes in hot, period. I think whatever if it's higher than predicted, and we'll go through this next week. Next week I'll get all the numbers and all the what's going on with that. But I think if we come in 0.1 higher, I think we immediately drop. I think we immediately drop to 60.
I think it'll be manipulation, though. I don't think I think.
Well, I'm not saying it's not. Everything's.
No, I think. I'm saying like even if we go over 0.1, I still think he cuts. Though is my point. I think like the market makers will utilize that and try to scare people.
Yeah, 100%. And then the last part of this is Solana DeFi blast to 11.5 billion. This is absolutely huge for Solana right now. The dApps that are doing really well are obviously Jita, which is number 1, Jupiter 2, Camino is 3, and Sanctum is 2. But this is looking really good because for a while I would always kind of say, it's not competing with Ethereum or nothing like that. But I mean, we're definitely seeing some upward movement. Let me actually grab the Ethereum number. But what do you think about this?
This is a direct correlation to the DAT that poured in and jumped Solana's price up, and now there's more liquidity to gamble. 100%. I feel like that, because it happened directly after Solana's been able to sustain too. It's jump up more than Ethereum and stuff like that in terms of the pullback. I think it pulled back less. Let me see actually what the pullback is for Solana.
It's still at 209. I mean, that's
So on the day, on the 24-hour, it's only down 1.1%, right? So it looks really strong still. And so this is kind of Solana's moment, I think, start to it. Maybe I think it kind of goes back and forth between Ethereum and Solana in terms of these treasury companies, and then hopefully the ETFs start they start to get moving with those things, because that's definitely going to make things game changing as well.
Yeah, but how do you feel about Solana DeFi? So right now Ethereum's at 92, Solana's at 11. Can Solana be 40% of Ethereum, which is like 4x from here? Do you think Solana can kind of do it, or do you think Ethereum just kind of moves too quick? Maybe if Solana starts moving.
I think it could. It depends on how much these institutions stake, but it seems like the first company that's involved with the treasury, they are staking, right? So I think that's the obvious move, right? Like they're all going to stake because that's what they're trying to make that 5-6% or whatever it is. And so I think that they can. I don't know about get 40% of it. I guess that would only be another 15. Well, I say it only, but $15-20 billion, right? So
a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, considering that like they would have to double what they have now and increase even a little bit more than that.
And we are seeing a lot of stable coins over the last year or so get put on Solana, but just recently we've seen a mountain of stable coins being put on Ethereum right now. So whether that's just Circle kind of getting ready, because they aren't really going into the DeFi sector, they're just kind of being put on chain in these different wallets. Some are saying they're in these hardware wallets, which means that it could be Circle that's just kind of buying treasuries and needs to put those assets somewhere until someone comes in and needs them. So we'll see. Well, that's the main topic there. I would like to jump into some TK stuff really quickly. Kind of check out what the guy TK is doing. Get these refresh on my screen here. So let's look at the Bitcoin version because there is news with this. So if you guys are holding TK over on the Bitcoin side, you will be able to stake it. I just got talking to Raul from Fluid Tokens yesterday. He will have the vault up Monday morning European time, so it'll be super early Monday morning. So you would be able to come in Monday morning and stake your TK. 35 million TK will be the reward, and that will be given to everyone who stakes. So let's just say, 10, 20 million TK, you're basically getting 100% APY in 90 days, right?
Yeah.
That's unheard of. So
Perfect
you're gonna
timing
make out really
too.
well. Oh yeah, for sure.
3 months from now, like November, all memes should be hot and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's super exciting. We'll go over it tomorrow because I appreciate you guys participating in that poll. I will be hosting the first ever Trench Kitty Spaces tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, so 6 p.m. Eastern. Share that, guys. Go to the community, share that. Let's get as many people in there. We're gonna hang out and we're gonna talk about the market. We're gonna talk about what's new in the Bitcoin ecosystem and other parts of the crypto space as well. So should be a fun time. But make sure you join that.
100%. And with TK kind of hanging out, it's back. It's at like 77,000 market cap. Not concerned about this at all, guys. This is just what happens when we did an airdrop last week. People are taking their Bitcoin airdrop, bridging it to Solana, and selling it in a liquidity pool. Apparently, everyone's poor because I had someone hit me up talking about, yo, can I sell you my 150,000 TK back? And it's like, no. Like, it was either that or I'm gonna dump the floor and go dump the floor. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just one of those things where people are just really broke right now and selling every airdrop that they got. I should have thought about that a little bit before we did it. Maybe wait a little bit. But there was ridiculous the amount of people that hit me up. Well, when's the airdrop? So it did get old really quick. So we did it. We ended up doing it last Sunday. But a lot of people did sell it. They took it to Solana and did sell it over there.
Yeah, and that's just the cause and effect of an airdrop and the market conditions, right? So, yeah, and I mean, I think it was really cool to give back to the supporters. So that was a give back to you guys, the supporters out there and all that stuff.
I honestly regret it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, like we had the good intentions, right? And I know like intentions aren't always gonna like give people merit and stuff like that. We don't need the merit. People know that we did it for our support and our community. So as long as we continually build the community, that's all that matters. And that's what we're gonna start with tomorrow at the space. So guys, make sure you join that. It's gonna be fun. Maybe even talk a little college football too. That's one of my favorite things to talk about.
Well, the problem with airdrops is you give people free money and they immediately want that in Bitcoin and for whatever reason, right? But I think for now on, if we ever do anything, it's going to be these staking vaults, right? So we're going to be opening up a Ordinal Revolution pass holder staking vault to earn some TK. So no more just giving away free. From now on, we're going to do staking vaults. Kind of because I feel like staking vaults are actually earned, right? It's that you don't feel like it's free money because you had to put your time in, whether that's 90 days. So if we do any more airdrops in the future, it'll be to the staking people. So that'll be something that we do. I think that's just a lot better incentive program because you do have to do one step, and then that doesn't, it actually will get you what you deserve for holding that pass for sure. So look out for that. That'll be September 10th. First will be the TK for TK, and then we'll do a the pass for some TK after that. So
Yep.
All right, let's move along here though. S&P 500 reaches the new all-time high yesterday of 6,500. Let's check it out right now, see where it is at. It's at 64, 69, so right below it. What does this tell you about the markets right now? Are you feeling like we could be overheated here with the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones all near all-time highs? Do you think this is maybe a reflection of it's time for crypto to catch up?
I just think there's a lot of volatility, man. Even in the regular markets, yeah, they hit new all-time highs, but Bitcoin hit a new all-time high 2 weeks ago. But it doesn't feel like it trickles down to other parts, right? So it's like S&P, sure, NASDAQ, cool, Bitcoin, cool, Ethereum, cool, and now Solana, I guess. But everything else, just crap. Right. And then whenever those 5 pull back, like S&P pulls back, then the stocks really just bleed. And like whenever Bitcoin and Ethereum pulls back, then the alts bleed times 10. And that's where the frustration comes in, because I think we're used to, maybe it's our us being conditioned to a market like 2021, or some of the people that experienced the 2017 market. But like I said, I do think I hope that it becomes easier, in Q4 this year. And I hope the original thesis of this current administration, making markets easier, and just the economy, putting energy into it. I hope that we just getting through the first year, and this is the toughest part.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, would it? Do you think us being here in August though, and you're seeing the S&P and stuff like that be at all-time highs, is that bullish or is that concerning?
I look at it like Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look at it like Bitcoin. It might not hit at the exact same time as Bitcoin, but like I'm sure S&P was an all-time high when Bitcoin was at 124. And so like now Bitcoin's pulling back. S&P's at all-time high.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so sensitive. The market is so sensitive. You were talking about how Nvidia pulled back because of the Alibaba thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like just the market is just extremely sensitive right now. So like it can be sensitive to the upside, or it could be sensitive to the downside. And that's not necessarily a confident environment, right? Because you're just kind of like, okay, it's almost kind of like playing a risky, like I remember there was one time in meme coins where like even like a month ago, like on Solana, like there were some winners that were coming through, but like you felt like it was just so fast. It was just like, oh my God, like I'm up like $4,000. Now I'm like down $1,000. You know what I mean? And it's like that's not a comfortable feeling, right? And so I think the market is looking for consistency. And for us to get that, I think that we got to probably go into QE, and then at the same time have better continued better economic performance overall. With those two things combined, I think that like that could kind of set us up for 2026.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I agree. What do you think about this though? So let's just take a look at where we've been this year. 9% in January, down 17 in February, down 2 in March, up 14 in April, up 10 in May, up 2 in June, up 8 in July, and down 5 in August. And then you're looking at the medians or the averages, right? So normally for Bitcoin in January, it's normally up 3%. February is normally up 13, March 12, April 13. So I'm looking at this, right? And so June and September are the only months that are negative. But we look at June for this year, we saw green. Should we be inclined to think that we're going to have a red September, or should we think that maybe we do the same thing as we did in June and do the opposite?
I mean, I guess if you think that patterns are absolute, which they're not, right? And so, like, they could kind of. I feel like patterns, when they work, it's such a good
Well,
situation.
this isn't a pattern. This is an average.
No, I know. I'm talking about like the pattern that
Yeah.
you're talking about is that June is typically negative, but it was positive. So do we get the pattern of
Yeah.
September? September is typically negative, so will it be positive? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm
Well, it's not
more.
typically. It's on it's an average. So if you take all of it all together, you'd get negative, right? So I'm not saying, I'm not going like, hey, this is red, red, or green. I'm just saying on average, it's negative 3%. So like, do we kind of get
Would that
above?
not be a typical, like, if because you have more of one than the
No,
other?
it's just an average. It's just like if you take all the percentages and put them into a bucket, you take out it's
I
normally
know what an
negative.
average is,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like in my mind, I'm saying, okay, typically, because like there's a reason why it's negative, is because there's more negatives than positives for that month. So typically, it is a negative month, is what I'm saying. But doing the opposite, like I don't know, the 2 of the first months, which you see the grade out there on the
Yeah.
average medium are positives, flip to the negative side.
Yeah.
Bitcoin was pretty successful for the spring, I would say. We did have those down, those did hurt though in February, the last part of January and February and March. I'm more concerned about like how Ethereum's going to perform, for the last 4 months here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for me, like, so it's typically negative too. and so is June. June it got a negative, and so but look at that front load though. If you look at Ethereum, this is why I'm actually bullish on the last part of the year for Ethereum, is because like we've done the complete opposite of on average what Ethereum performs January, February, March, and April, right? And so like we that to me is complete overselling. That's like a massive oversold situation for the first 4 months. So we're making up for that. We made up for it in you see in May, July, and August, but I still think that we have some more making up to do. But do we take a break in September? That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about. So it's like one of these months have to be red, right? And if you had to pick one, which month would you pick? Not what you want, but if you had to make an educated guess.
Honestly, December.
Would you?
I would say December, just for the fact that
super risk on. It's good. It's going into all the others.
I think that we take in December going into January. I think everything kind of flows back into Bitcoin, and for the next leg up. I'm thinking for me, I think December and January are going to be insane for Bitcoin to kind of push us over that $400,000 mark going into February. And then potentially seeing the alt season of February, March, and April before a pullback in May to everything, and Bitcoin kind of flows with everything. That's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm kind of seeing that next January is going to be very similar to the averages, all the way up until May. So for me, I would love September, October, November to be absolutely insane with a nice pullback, because that would be the cycle, right? That would be the microcaps going nuts in November, and then everything kind of rotating back into Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, so especially if Ethereum has a massive November, then I think it'd be hard to top it in December anyways, right?
Yeah.
So let's say that you get to a like 7,500 or something like that in November, and in December we finish the month at like 7,200. It looks worse than it actually is, because it's going to show like a minus maybe like 6%. And then in December, most people are going to be in like super risk on mindset to try to get into those 50, 100 X's too.
I'm actually thinking a lot of people are like, a 4-year cycle's over. This is the top. I'm out. And you're going to see a lot of those people kind of getting out at the end of November, early December.
End of November, you think?
That's going to change everyone's mindset when we start moving again. And for January and February to be bullish, I think is going to be the path of most pain, because a lot of people are going to be like, damn, I got out too early. I feel like we're going to get a lot of that, because people are going to say, oh, no, you get out in November. You get that's the cycle. You get out in November. But I don't think people are going to be ready for what comes when we're leading into a new Fed chairman in March.
Yeah, I mean, you have seen certain cycles too that have done the end of November being the top, and you saw that in 2021. 2017 was more, I felt like we definitely leaked into December, and then chilled at the end of December, early January, and then had a good, Ethereum actually had a good second half to January, I think, in February. So, we'll see how it plays out. Either way, I think there's one, maybe 2 red months in the last 4 months for Ethereum. But if I had to pick one, though, I would probably pick September.
I don't want it to be September.
I know.
But to me, it just doesn't make sense. So, like, when is the rotation then back into Bitcoin? Because we do know there's going to be a rotation back into Bitcoin, right? I just think that comes. I don't want it to be September, because I don't feel like anything really has. Well, is there to rotate besides Ethereum?
My scenario too, if September is the red month, that means that like Ethereum probably has to top in early December, meaning that because like at that point, like it'll top so far that like the pullback at the end of December won't make it December red. You know what I mean?
Are you saying top cycle or top for the year?
Top for the year. Top for Q4. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I mean, like these scenarios are kind of hard to predict, right? But
fun to talk about though.
Yeah, but like there's gonna be one red month, right? Don't you think? Because even if your scenario plays out, that means that we have 5 green months in a row for Ethereum.
Yeah, I do. I do. I see it. I mean, for me, I see it being absolutely insane. Ethereum's going to be $18,000. I mean, I do see, Ethereum kind of peaking in March, right? And then, May's the peak for the end, right? And see a lot of people going from May back into Bitcoin. But I do think Bitcoin eventually going into September of next year, November of next year with the primary, I think Bitcoin gets hit hard in going into that, because I do think the Democrats end up winning a lot of that, mainly because of Elon and his new party. I think that's, I mean, I'm already going from the Republican side to Elon's party, right? And I think there's gonna be a lot of people that kind of think like me, and that's gonna actually push the Democrats into some of those chair seats.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, but we'll see. We will see. Well, let's kind of move along here. Did you know that Binance futures trading was suspected to have a down between 14.18 and 14.36, which I'm guessing is around 2 o'clock in the morning last night? How would you feel if you were in a long and then your stop loss wasn't triggered because of this happening? And does this make you feel good about Hyperliquid, knowing that Binance has trouble sometimes too?
Well, Binance is a centralized exchange. You got to think about that risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a risk. They have that control to press pause button. I mean, kind of technically, Hyperliquid did too whenever they were getting attacked, right? So, what's decentralized and
concerning
what's
to you, though.
centralized? You know what I mean? I mean, I know what the definitions are, but like, you get what I'm saying. It would be concerning if I was a huge leverage trader. You know what I mean? Like huge, as in like my collateral is like 50,000 or higher or something like that, because you know that's unfortunate. Now, if you're a swing trader, it's probably not as stressful because you're most likely going to be conservative on your leverage that you're taking and stuff like that, which is also another upside and benefit to being a swing conservative trader, is you don't necessarily have to worry about volatility as much. But yeah, of course that's gonna stress people out that are using these platforms. Yeah.
100%. Okay, so there was an event yesterday in Tokyo. It was called B&B Day. CZ stated that if he were 20 years younger, he would build a simple AI trading agent and a privacy focused perp dex, and believes dex trading volume could surpass sex in the future. He also mentioned that the next breakthrough could come from areas like blockchain and AI integration, RWA, and stablecoins. What's your thoughts on everything he said here? This got me super bullish on Hustle for sure.
Yeah, but the projects like Hustle that are building this, because this is the early days for Hustle, right? But like this sounds very similar to like what the overall roadmap is, right? The plan for Agent Hustle. And we'll have Jake on from Emblem Vault later today, so we can actually kind of bring this topic up. But yeah, I mean, 20 years ago, I kind of feel like he's kind of secretly building this dude. He's not old. He's still enough.
He's like late 50s, right? I mean, that's not old at all. I don't think he's in his 60s.
I think he's in his 40s, bro.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Let me see.
Nah, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think so. I just think he looks young. I think he's in his late 50s, 54.
But what makes you think that though?
Just the way he
48
like this. 48. Okay, so late 40s. Okay, I was off by 10 years, but yeah, I mean, I still don't consider that old. I mean, Gary Vee didn't start VanderMedia until he was like 44. So it's like,
yeah. I mean, plus he's already successful. It's not like he has to do a ton of work for this. You know what I mean? Like
he's hired the people. He doesn't have. I don't think he means he doesn't have the oomph, because he's so rich as it is. He doesn't have that drive, fire in his stomach. Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right, let's move along here. So we find out something yesterday. Businessman.eth put out a post. He said, proud to announce my role as co-founder in the first BTKN Launchpad, which is the Spark area utxofun. So this was a big outing, I guess you could say, because I was shocked by it. I shouldn't have been, because he was super bullish on the Spark stuff, and I really didn't know why. But here's the actual tweet. He said, as someone who has always championed innovation on Bitcoin, which started with ordinals, I believe Spark is the end game. So that is a pretty big statement by him, but it does show me why he was so bullish on them. And he did say in here that those people like myself who did participate in day one and sucked terribly will potentially get I'm hoping get that token UTXO, because that was the token, the number one token that everyone was trying to get, and potentially could be, something that they do something with, because they are utxo.fun, or it could be the ordi of that platform. I'm hoping that gets airdropped to people like me who tried to buy thousands of dollars worth and were refunded. refunded from that. But what do you think about businessman.eth here and Slick? Shout out to Slick, being a big part of this Spark stuff. Is getting more bullish on Spark and Flashnet.
I don't really like the banner picture of Slick's profile because it was the I forgot what collection that was.
Counterparty, right? Not counterparty. Counterculture.
Counterfeit culture? No. That was the one that was the like against what was it? It was like all against the government and stuff. I forgot what it was. C control.
Okay.
CTRL.
Control.
Yeah. But anyways, but other than that, look, I mean, there's people that are bullish about Spark, right? If their platform can be consistent and stuff like that, then I think they have a good shot. Spark right now is Magic Eden decided to invest more focus into that than Runes for infrastructure. There's a reason for that. And so we just need to see what it is. But they're running out of time. I do think that like there needs to be something that's, people are playing on, to get bullish about. And they could probably argue and say, well, we have, the 4 months to finish the year. And that's the thing too, is that like, we're in this weird area right now, this kind of gray area of like time before the supposedly things get super bullish, and for builders in the Bitcoin ecosystem, it's like do you give them a pass because they want to launch in October right before like all the liquidity comes? You're talking about the arches, the Sparks, the BRC 2.0s, but like they've been building this entire time. So like how much time do you need? So it has to either be one of two things. One, that's what they're waiting for is the right time because they want to make sure they make as much money as they can. Or two, they don't have what they are saying they have.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell right now because of that.
So the biggest things for me is like, are these things possible? Right. I do love the experimentation, right? And that's kind of what Arch is, right? They're experimenting to see if they can roll up transactions like Base does with Ethereum, but doing it with Bitcoin. Is that going to be possible with the reorder and the way Bitcoin is? Don't know. And you know what I mean? I'm not willing to say that they're going to be successful yet. With Spark, let's just talk about them for a second. Am I super bullish on them? I love what they're trying to do. Use the Bitcoin Lightning Network to kind of process these transactions through. But is it possible?
How many teams have tried to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, is like no one really tried doing the rolling up on Bitcoin before because there was no reason to. There was no coins, right? There was nothing over there to there's no big deal. But you're right, with the Lightning Network part, there probably was 10 teams who tried this, but Spark is heavily funded. That could be the difference, right? So it's like when you have enough money and you can hire the best devs, I mean, you can pretty much build anything. But the technology that you're building on is the problem. Same thing with Bitcoin, same thing with the Lightning Network. So to me, it's like, we'll see. I mean, everyone has a different idea. Everyone has a different experiment. But if you are successful, it could be game changing.
Yeah, definitely could be game changing. But we have builders that came over to Runes and Ordinals. Victor from Rune Mine. Runes Dex, right? Like that guy is experienced in almost every Bitcoin meta protocol. You're talking about RGB, Lightning, Ordinals, Runes. I'm sure he's dabbling with Spark now and BRC20s and all these things. And so it's like, what do they know or what have they built that's different, And so I don't know. Hopefully we find out soon.
I'm also waiting for that pivot as well from Runes Dex to Spark Dex. All right. So I think that happens. I think he's just that guy. And I mean, I think they'll keep their Runes Dex alive as well. But I think, that's up his alley, right? He's a Lightning guy. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them support that right away.
Well, I mean, okay, but so I see where you're coming from. One thing I will say though is it's so crazy is that like how come Runes hasn't just died? You know what I mean? Like the OG Runes and stuff like that. I mean, you see these videos coming from you see the videos coming from Bitcoin Asia, and there's so much like marketing activity surrounding like $1 billion cat, dog, all these things with people still excited about it. And I feel like they're kind of like a cat with 9 lives, right? Like it's like you and you've seen it from both of us internally.
Yeah.
It was like runes are dead, runes are alive, runes are dead,
Yeah.
runes are alive. You know what I mean? And so I think after a certain period of time, you got to say these guys just survive.
You could say the same thing about ORD and BRC20s, though. You know, the same exact
But
thing.
they don't. But they don't get talked about nearly as much
in the U.S., but in Asia, they probably are talked. Runes are barely talked about. You got to remember, like they don't use Twitter, like, and we know that because we didn't hear about Crypto Burger until like it was way too late. So you know what I mean? Like it was like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, just because it's because we don't hear it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, no, you have a point there, but I mean the Crypto Burger point, that's probably the strongest point there because that token, which technically is a rune hybrid, right? Because it was on Odin, but like
it's 3/4 of dog right now.
Yeah. $150 million market cap, I think the last I saw it.
Let's go right into that because that's really interesting. So yesterday we were messing around, well, like last week, I guess you would say, messing around over on Odin, and we found this token called Crypto Burg, and it's a burger. Probably coming at us Americans here a little bit because we're burgers. That's what they call us, I think. But sitting at $245,000 in volume, right?
That's crazy.
I know, it's insane.
Click the 24-hour volume tab. Click that at the top. No, the other one. The one to your right. The one that you just were on before.
Yeah.
No.
The volume.
Click on that.
Oh,
look at that.
God.
This is 24 hours, dude. Odin.
Who the hell dropped 27 on Odin Pepe? 26 Bitcoin.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of money there, dude.
Oh my God. What is Odin Loop? 51 million?
I know. So like
foreskin at 24. That's crazy.
I mean, just going down the row of 24-hour volume is absolutely nuts. So let's just try to tally it up the top 5. So 2.9, you got another 600, so that's a 3.5, and then another 4
million. Yeah.
So yeah, so top 5 is right at like over a little bit over 3 million. But I mean, you can go to the top 10 and there's still 6-figure volume.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The 6-figure doesn't even stop until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Dude, if Bob is making 1% of that, he's making like
that's
$30,000 a day.
That well, I mean, I don't even know. I don't try to do it in my head because it's too much. I gotta tally all that.
Every million is 10 grand, right? So at 1%, so it's like if he's making 10 grand for every million, and they're doing, let's just say, with everything, $4 million, he's making $40,000 a day. Oh, that's just 1%. What if he's taking more?
Well, I guess I could scroll down here, but yeah, if you go to the top 10, I mean, like the top 12 tokens there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Top 16 tokens have at least $100,000 in 24-hour volume. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
For a Bitcoin, like I know it's ICP tech stack, but like he's marketing this as like trading Bitcoins tokens.
He marketed them as trading runes. They're ICP
Bitcoin,
runes, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he is digging into the Bitcoin stuff. You know that
he has a bridge open where you can bridge, but to me, because the token,
if you look at but I don't care about that. I'm telling you what Bob is doing. He is posting trade Bitcoin memes as fast as possible on Odin.fun, and that has been the marketing since day one, and he hasn't changed that.
He has dog over there. I mean, you're right. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's not about what it is, because I agree with what you're saying. If you're talking about from a technical standpoint, I'm talking about his marketing approach. This is what he's saying.
Yeah, and the token standard they're using is the same token standard that has been used on ICP forever, right? There's no difference. There's not like
within that system. Right within his platform, but you can bridge out and do stuff on Magic Eden if you want.
I don't know the token standard, like on Ethereum, the ERC20s, on Solana, the SLP20, whatever it is. I think these are, it's the same token standard that ICP uses, from my understanding. It's not like he developed a new token standard, so they called it runes.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think there's a weird like subnet like identifier with each standard. within there. I don't know though.
Yeah, I'm just going to real quick. What is the IPCP token standard? It's called they're ERC20s. They use ERC20 token standard
What?
for ICP. Yeah,
Well,
modeled
that
after the ERC20. Defines functions many more advanced than a DIP 20. I don't know what the hell a DIP 20 is. But so they're called ICRC1. That is and it's basically equivalent to an ERC20. That's what I'm reading from ChatGPT anyway.
Gotcha.
But
can you deposit Solana yet? Because I know that was a part of his plan.
good question. I'm not sure.
You know, I mean, if he's able to market this well to like the Solana people too, and other like you can deposit any like multiple different currencies in here, that just increases the volume even more. So
yeah, 100%. All right, final thing here. Adderrels, Adderrels, I can never say this damn name. Token sale is going viral already. 38%. I wonder what that is now. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's this token, there's this ordinal collection called Adderrel. How do you say this?
Adderrels.
I got to play off Adderall. These cracked out squirrels who've hit like 1,200 hours each on the timeline here. Again, these squirrels are getting the airdrop, the holders of that, but you can also get in on a public sale. So I looked into this a little bit, and at first I was like, ugh. But then I kind of understood that 100% of the fundraise are locked in liquidity pool. So they're trying to raise 15 million. They've already raised 6.6. This has only been going on for about 6 hours now, and it is ending on block 912639. So they have it open for about 300 blocks. So this is going to decide the market cap of the pool. So we do know that the 5-digit tickers are going live for BRC20 or something like that. They're going live on Tuesday, and then about 2 weeks after that, September 17th, we're going to see the most apparently lucrative thing that ever happened to BRC20s, which is the DEX, be up and running. And this is going to be one of the projects and the liquidity that goes in to that DEX. That'll be a BRC 2.0 DEX. What do you think about all this? What do you think about this pre-sale, I guess you would say? But they're using it very similar to Pump Fund.
Well, 100% is going to go to the LP though.
Well, so it's not 100% of the supply, 100% of the money raised.
Which aren't they trying to raise $15 million?
Yeah. But I'm saying you're going to get airdrop communities and stuff like that. So not 100% of the token. So,
but what about the 100% of the value? Is $15 million going into LP?
So the LP will be 30 million if they hit 15. You know what I mean? Because you're going to put half of the token in, and then so they're going to use that Bitcoin, that $15 million of Bitcoin, which is about 15 Bitcoin or 14 Bitcoin, and then you're going to take whatever the supply, 40% of the supply, and lock it into an LP pool. So now you're valuing each token.
I see.
15 million. Yeah, so it'll be a $30 million LP pool.
Okay, so they're going to have that supply though ready for that.
They already have it. It's going. They're going to mint it on Tuesday. When that opens up, they'll mint the whole supply to themselves. They will airdrop the holders of these
pre-sale,
and the collection, right? And there you go. That's the whole supply. They're probably going to do communities and stuff like that. They might do an airdrop to different holders of different stuff too. I'm not 100% sure about that. Would love to have Tom on the show to kind of talk about this a little bit, but I think it's really interesting. So right now, let's just say it is stopped and it's at 6.6 million. The LP pool will be $12 million. That'd be pretty.
So, nice. Is this through a third party or is this their own?
This is their own thing. I'm pretty sure it's in their hand.
They should create this product, bro. And the reason why I say that is because this could be.
This is a very centralized product. Because it is Bitcoin.
I get that. But my point that I'm making, though, is if they're doing the raise for LP on BRC 2.0, which is decentralized, is what they're saying, with smart contracts, EVM, and they're referring to inscriptions in the smart contracts. So it does work directly with Bitcoin, by the way, in terms of referencing. Now, the indexing and all that stuff with the smart contracts is off chain, but it still references the ORD indexer. In terms
but you're
of
trusting them with $6 million potentially.
So I get that part.
And they will have access to your LP pool whenever they want. Because they're the ones that provided it.
So let's say that like they don't create this, but somebody creates it within the BRC 2.0 system. I think this could really actually catapult.
It's basically a pump fund though. There's no
difference.
I
don't think so. I don't think so at all, because they're doing way more for liquidity pool than pump fund. There's not a bonding curve here either. It's like just either this is how much we raised.
Well, it would be 15 million.
Well, if they don't get to 15 million, they're going to refund everybody?
Yeah. No, they're going to put whatever it is into the liquidity.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't have to hit the bond any like goal. Obviously, that's what they want to reach. But where I think that this is better is that the entire thing is going into LP versus pump fund. The entire thing doesn't go in. A portion of it does. But again,
all the Solana that goes in, it goes right into the LP.
Pre-bonding?
The bonding curve. Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit goes to the like pump fund, but it's very small amount, 1% or whatever it is. But 99% of the Solana that's how the LP is funded. Same thing.
I didn't know it was
yeah.
pretty much 100%. I thought there was maybe like an 80% amount that was going in there. Okay, so regardless, I think that this works for especially for the Bitcoin ecosystem, to where they have the right wells, the right ordy wells. They have these things to where now BRC 20s can start with liquidity. You know what I mean? Instead of these kind of block trading kind of way of doing things, it could propel them. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and also maybe someone create this platform for, and I'm sure there's someone that's creating it anyway. So,
well, someone talked to us about
was it this idea?
No, it wasn't this. No. It was
something similar though, right? Yeah.
I mean, this is a centralized version of pump fund. So someone can just create a decentralized version of it. It's really the same thing, right? It's just you're just going to use whatever you get from that. The preset. I mean, that's all pump fund is the preset.
Yeah, it is a liquidity setup. I just feel like this is more of a stronger liquidity startup.
Well, this is a bigger coin. This isn't your average day pump and dump, right? Like this is something you have a team behind. You have a project, you have an ordinals project behind it as well. So, but what do you think, dude? Is this bullish to you? I mean, this thing's going to start at 15, potentially, right now, if it ended right now at $12 million market cap, as a BRC 2.0.
Yes.
That's higher than Ordi, right? What is Ordi right now? No, Ordi's
188 million.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah. So, but this will be 12 million or whatever it is, 15 million, right? So I am actually bullish on it, because he has not given me a reason to doubt him yet.
Dude, he's been homers, dude.
That's what I'm saying. So if he's able to raise that much money for that ordinals project, and I'm learning more and more about it, it's like, yes, I think that this will be a strong BRC 20.
Yeah, sure.
Especially with the liquidity in there, it'll be one of the first with the most liquidity. So I think people will probably try to run to it. Stuff like this is, if it does play out. So that's the problem, and I think people that are listening in, if you're newer to the Bitcoin ecosystem or to our show in general, we've been through a building phase for Bitcoin fungibles for the past 2 years, and we've been here for every single minute of it, by the way. Starting from the summer of 2023 when BRC 20s first launched, or the late spring, to today. And so you have to understand that for us, it's like we need to see it. You know what I mean? We need to see the action. We need to see the volume. Odin.fun is providing it. And people can say, well, it's its own system. You have to deposit in there. I mean, I think we can both agree that let's get off the mindset of doing things that way on Bitcoin layer 1. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, dude. In a fast way, in a comfortable, fast way. So you got to use a scaling solution. I mean, that's the problem with Runes right now, is they're trying to find their scaling solution home that is as native as possible to Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And
no one's building anything for runes anymore. Like we used to be so bullish on the builders for runes. I mean, Fluid left. They're no longer building for runes anymore. They're building for alkanes. A
no,
lot of people have.
I mean, they
they're
have
building vaults. They're building staking vaults, but like that's already
you
built.
still have
They're not
products.
You're not building continuously anymore.
What
Or
is
if
there
they're
to
mainly
build?
focused. Well, I mean, it's just saying that people tried things and it just didn't work, right? So now he's like you said, the Fluid's building for alkanes. He'll have he already built the vaults for his runes, so that's why he's doing that. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. I guess we'll see what happens with BRC 2.0. It has the community. I mean, it has these guys raised almost $7 million. So I mean, that's saying something about it, right? You couldn't raise that in runes right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess best case scenario for people that hold multiple different fungible token standards in Bitcoin is that like we have an L2 season like ETH did last cycle. That's best case scenario. Medium scenario is like one of these really extremely thrive and like there's just like good user experience is like amazing. And then worst case scenario is that like everybody cannibalizes each other and there's no we go back to counterparty kind of mentality.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying like
please no.
Yeah.
I got what you're saying. All right, let's move along though. Let's kind of get into today's crypto fear and greed here. So not looking great. Wow. All right, so last week we're at a 46. Yesterday we're at a 45. We're a little higher than last week's 46, a tiny bit higher. I don't even know how to give this to you here.
47?
Yeah, 47. I hate this. Like, this really makes me angry, right? I didn't look at it this morning. I just grabbed the page up and I don't like this at all. This is ugh.
Yeah, man, it's tough to see, but it is what it is, guys. We're finishing off the month, and I've said this before. End of month isn't necessarily. We probably should have thought about that.
I know.
Necessarily the best time of the month, right? So we'll see.
Bitcoin's
we'll
period week for sure. Let's get into the Bitcoin price action and crypto bubbles brought to you guys by Artura. So their trading competition is live, guys. If you head over to their Twitter right now, you can actually see what is going on. So they're going to reward $10,000 to the top traders over there with the top P&L. So all you got to do right now is head over to Artura.finance. If you need a bridge in, just go to 2100 A Bitcoin World, and there's bridges there from EVM, from Bitcoin, from Garden, from everywhere. You can easily get on board to Botonics if you're interested. Botonics is said to be giving away the biggest Bitcoin airdrop ever. So we will see what that is all about. But by using Artura.finance, you're going to be potentially earning points. Whether that points goes to something like the ARA token or to something else, we're not 100% sure. But there's an opportunity there for you guys to kind of be a part of what Artura is building and be one of the early adopters to Botonics. I mean, it's win-win. Stupid not to try it. Take $10, $15 of Bitcoin, bridge it over there. Go long, go short, high leverage, low leverage, doesn't matter. Just get on that leaderboard. I think it's going to be very lucrative to people who are over there. And guys, what I've been doing during meetings and during like my downtime.
During meetings.
I mean, last night, I'm not gonna lie. During the meeting, I was doing it. I was messing around over there because I was just so bored. But what we were talking about with the first meeting, not the second one, and then with everything else, it's just I'm over there. I'm airdrop hunting, guys. I think it's 100% stupid not to be airdropping hunting Botonics because they're paying you in Bitcoin. I mean, you can get thousands of dollars for making a few trades, a few swaps, adding liquidity, minting a soccer NFT. Like there's so much on a 2100 Bitcoin world. We're gonna be putting out a video of exactly what I've been doing, and that video will go live Sunday. So definitely look out for that. I'm gonna walk you guys through every aspect of a 2100 Bitcoin, but the main focus there is Artura, because Artura is probably the most lucrative opportunity out there. And check everything out at Artura.finance. My trade got liquidated, by the way. My trade. I cried a little bit.
I don't think you
lost $30.
I don't think you had to tell me that. I assumed after the price action that we're about to get into. But don't be depressed, guys. It is Friday, and
look, like $30 back, Marion.
We still have 4 months left ahead of us, guys. These are the hard days. These are the days that you're gonna look back and say, man, it was tough to really, watch that show that day because the markets were tough and all that stuff. But I did learn this that day, and one thing that I'll talk about with Artura and Botanics is in the list of chains that's going to be putting government data. They got selected. They got into that program. So that's bullish to me because people are going to look at them differently, I think. But yeah, so before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out, guys. I know it's already an hour and 13 minutes in. We'll get to your comments, I promise. On the YouTube side, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on. On the X side, let's share the space. Let's get more people in here. We want to cross over that 100 people mark there. And then also same thing with Abstract and all the other platforms, Spotify, Kick, Twitch, and Rumble. But let's get into some price action here. All right. I'm not going to start with that depressed chart. Okay, there we go. All right, let's bring a little positivity if we can. We'll see. All right, you can see the dump has been going on since yesterday, 8 a.m., man. It's just been dump after fake out, dump after fake out, dump again. And do we get another fake out and dump? It's Friday. We shall see. Fridays are not necessarily the best days to come back with, but we'll see. All right, you can see here, man, we have been in oversold territory for a minute. Every time we try to fake out, just like I showed you on the candles, it mimics it, right? The stochastic RSI. We have just come down below the oversold territory again. We're hanging out at the 18-point mark. So got to get over the 20-point mark and start heading upwards. You see the MACD here. MACD is showing us like it's faking out the exhaustion too. So it's really hard to be, you know, if you look at the daily chart, it's probably not as hard, but like you can see that like it seems like it wants to come out. And I think people are just so like trained mentally right now that August was a bullish month for at least Ethereum, and parts of the month was bullish for Bitcoin. We hit an all-time high. We forget that. It doesn't seem like we just hit an all-time high a week and a half ago, right? 2 weeks ago. So anyhow, how do we play out the rest of the day? You know, honestly, man, I would say that it's probably going to do a little bit of the same, maybe a fake out and drop back down, but let's get some support and resistance data here. Going back to 7 a.m. All right, the levels we're at, we are showing some support in this area. So we're showing some strength, and this is the most volume area going back to 7 a.m. So this is a good sign for Bitcoin, at least. Below that, we have some support as well at the 108.440, and then support all the way down. So we're winning this battle here, and we're winning above. So we look pretty decent in the area that we're at, but we got to push above this. And these areas right here is where we're losing until we get here. So I'm honestly like, I don't know, we might have found a local bottom here if we can maintain the support levels in the 108.600. Because everything below that is balanced, or we have the advantage for the support side. So we shall see if that maintains. If it does, then we could see a trip back to 110 for the second half of today. Above, like I said, it doesn't really dominate on the resistance side until we get to 109.7. That's where the domination really comes back with any volume, at least. So we got to make it through here. We got to definitely defend the area that we're at here. And it seems like we are showing strength in this area. So that is good. Again, that most volume area that is like all through this price action is where we are. And it's where we have the most support. So that is a good sign. So that 108, something that Shizzy and I was looking at earlier, it was, this is the previous, like if you go back, I think into maybe before we took off in April, maybe, or right whenever we started taking off. I think 108 was kind of that area that we were peaked previously. And so this could be 107 to 110 back and forth. And then, we'll see how we start the month on Sunday night or end the week as well. But that's what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin on the hour chart. 4-hour chart doesn't look great either. The momentum is definitely still showing that we probably going to hang out here for more time. You can see we're not really exhausting the 4-hour. We would need a really strong push up on the 1-hour chart, in my opinion, to start to break this down. But to get a strong push up, I'm saying like 110, 111, maybe try to break back into 112. But we were at 112 earlier this morning, right? Maybe not. We were at 110. Okay, 110 earlier, around there. So yeah, we'll see what happens here, guys. Definitely not looking great for Bitcoin, but at least in the current local area for the next 2, 4, 6 hours, we do have that support from 108 to 1086. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum here. I have this sad
Oh,
yeah, it looks like an
going to
angel.
zero.
No. All right. So this is a Head and Shoulders that's kind of possibly playing out for the daily chart, right? And you can see this on the MACD here. The sell pressure is still there for Ethereum. Man, I really hope this, like, if this does play out though, so it's gonna be tricky once it gets up here. But I think once you've made this part of the pattern, most people are going to be expecting some sort of pull down. But that would be probably in the first week of September, leading up to the rate cut. So it could play out that way, dude. Like, so we could see something like maybe trickle down a little bit further, and then fake people out here at the, faking out would actually be a bad fake out too, because it could, get us to like that 48, and people think we're going to break 5,000, only to kind of take us back down further here. But we got to see, what else plays out. Also, this has just kind of got started. You see the fourth every day, the candle on the MACD, though, the momentum has gotten bigger. So that's what's making me think maybe we see something, this pattern play out. I'm not sure if that's what we get. We need some more data, but that is definitely in play. And then if you look here on the hour chart here, hour chart's a little tricky for Ethereum right now because it is showing that it's weakening. The sell pressure is weakening here, but every time it's done that, it's tricked us back into getting dumped on. You can see that, like, it's happened here the first time. It happened up earlier here, actually, and then it happened here again, and then here it seems like it's starting to do that again. But you can see how many times the fast line has tried to trick us and curl up, right? And it's been really frustrating trading Ethereum the past couple of days, right? But this is where I say, if you look at the daily chart, you can see that there's pretty much dark red momentum on the MACD, and if you just play off of that, then you would have been fine and waiting until that daily chart gets broken down first. So anyways, yeah, so do we get another fake out and then to the downside? We're going to find out soon. I'll tell you that much. Ethereum support hasn't looked great on the local price points that I've looked at. Going to 5 a.m. this morning, you can see where we are at the 43.30 area, losing above that 43.40, losing. Actually 43.40 winning. Sorry. So we're winning that area. So if we can get back in, that's the most volume area. So if we get back in here, that'll be good. We can kind of maintain that. And then we are winning above that. So it's looking better, actually. Looking better. No volume up here, too. We can push it up. Below that, it's kind of balanced. We are losing that battle resistance there. So I don't know. Like, the hour chart's going to be tricky, too. It's also going to, it's playing a little bit off of Bitcoin, too. When Bitcoin was dumping hard, it was following, it was tailing it. So that's what I got for Bitcoin and Ethereum, guys. Let's take a look here at the, wow. You remember this bubble, crypto bubbles earlier this morning? It was definitely showing some green, right? Or has it been red the entire time? I don't know. But anyways, some big winners here. You see Pyth. Pyth is a big winner. They announced that they're going to use Pyth as well as being an oracle for the data that's going to be put on for the government. So that's pretty cool. The government decided to choose Chainlink and Pyth, which are, technically competitors. I'm sure they do a couple things differently, and maybe they do some of the stuff that they do the same, or some of the same stuff. Some of them they do. One does a little bit better than the other. We'll see. But I think that's why they've jumped up here, is because they've been in the headlines to be a part of that program. Crypto.com, unfortunately, had a big pullback. So, they enjoyed the winnings the past couple of days, but they've pulled back quite a bit. Crow is down 14.6%. You see SPX pulling back 11.4%. Pump Fun is up 8%. That's interesting. Yeah, I see Pepe pulling back 4.9%. So most of the memes are down either, between 5 and 10%. Dog Whiff. This is definitely a little bit deeper of a pullback than what we saw even like 2 days ago. Floki's pulled back 6%. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. This Binance meme coin B is up 11%. MOG down 9.1%. Fart coin pulling back a whopping 11.1. If this gets to 50 cents, man, Oh, it's at 85, so it jumped back
Yeah.
up when Ethereum, I guess, pulled back up a couple. Just yesterday.
Well,
I think
it's following Solana. Solana's up. When Solana got to 214, it jumped back up
that
to
makes sense.
82,
Yeah,
83
I
cents.
forgot about Solana's strong right now. Yeah, that's it. VVS kind of going along with Crow. So the main DEX token on Kronos pulling back 14%. So that is what we're looking at heading into the weekend. But it is Labor Day weekend, guys. At least most of you guys get Monday off.
Not us. We'll be live on Monday, making sure you guys are updated. Just kidding. We will be. I think we'll see. We'll see. A good chance we will. But let's jump into the roll call here. Let's jump right into the comments here. So the first is first. I got my guy Lackey Lukin. Congratulations to you. You have win 43 on the year, right behind Webdro at 44. So congratulations to you. You're catching up. Much deserved. We'll see who. I mean, we're about to enter September, guys. This is getting crazy. But shout out to you. Arita TV is here, my guy. Appreciate you. I added you to the wheel. Bitcoin is Truth is here. Vader time, my guy. Let's see. Joko, my guy's here. Chips and Dip is here. Dogs on Air. Matt's Toast. Mir. Cheaty. Oh, Cheaty, it's been a while, man. It's been a long time out. Good to be back. Now it's time to start DCAing the TK. Please, anyone with an idea, kindly use multiple wallets too to aid distribution algorithms. I'm not sure what he's asking here. Kindly use multiple wallets too.
To aid distribution algorithm. He's talking about for the Solana distro percentage.
Gotcha. Kitty, Chief Axel says Kitty in the trenches. Let's go. Make boy fun against us another day. Another wheel spin. TK. Yep, every day, guys. We're gonna do these every day until we're out. Pro Crypto is here. Shout out to you, my friend. He's a big I think Runes World. Yeah, Runes World. Big he's been in that since like 29K. He's been pushing that, especially on me. Myself says finding gems is getting harder and harder each cycle. The more tokens created, more diluted. Yeah, I mean, it's 100% true. You gotta remember though, you know, every time there's a token that is born, there's probably like 10 tokens that die. So I mean, that's kind of what it is there. Protagonist says for the first
Does it work that way?
BTC deposit was used. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I think it's some scam. Be careful with that. Cheaty says, please, guys, kindly tag the link into the staking vaults on the footnotes. Yeah, we will. We'll put out a whole video, especially the members on Sunday. We'll put out a video, guys, and then on Monday we'll put out a video on how to stake and do a full tutorial with that. Myself says, Gresham's law. People will naturally get rid of their less value coins in favor of the. Yeah, I get it. Cheaty says, whoa, just checked my wallet. Now I got 650K. You must have had a crap load of passes. Thanks a million, guys. Do I have to keep buying with the same wallet? No, I mean, you can. So I talked to Earl, it's going to be up to $1 million per wallet. So as long as you're below $1 million, you should be fine. Myself says alts topped 1 month after Bitcoin topped the last time Trump was president. Yeah, I mean, people are comparing this year to the 2018, 2017, 2018 cycle for sure. Myself, I also expecting a Rectember. Hope not, man. Cash Cat says coffee and donuts and dog go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats, legendary. Corey Pierce is here. My guys, dogs and pups. Yeah, man, 100%. Patty Poo, sup. Patty Poo, I got you, locked you in. Myself said exchanges love volume. Fee collecting is the game for them. Yeah. 100%. But a lot of the fee collecting is happening on chain, right? Patty Booth says, did you see OnlyFans interview about XRP and the pump fund XRP meme that started? Extremely retarded process. What? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, bro. Myself says the only thing I'm stacking for an airdrop is runestones. Yeah. And my crypto space UK says Momo on the house. Sure what that means either. I appreciate all you guys, man. Everyone who makes roll call each and every day. It's absolutely awesome. Let's jump over to the wheel and let's see who we got as our winners today. We'll give this thing a nice little spin. I'll give it a shuffle. Not many people entered today, so it's going to be a very.
It's going to be a high percent chance for you to win.
Yeah. Ooh, fun Bitcoin 2009.
Congrats.
You, my friend. I'll add you to the. All right, got you. I'll spin this again. Patty Poo. My guy.
Patty Poo.
And the final one, we'll give this one more shuffle. Spin that again. And Matt Toshi. Congratulations to all three of you guys, man. Absolutely awesome. Much deserved as well. Awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool banner. Does Jake have that link, right?
Yeah, I sent it to him.
Right, cool.
He's probably going to pop in here in a couple minutes.
Right.
But just to remind everybody, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m. Pacific, I think. It's 3 hours behind, right? You, the Pacific?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be hosting the first Trench Kitty space. So should be fun. Probably going to last around 45 minutes to an hour. But we're just going to, get into the routine of just, congregating and having fun and stuff like that. But we got our guest, it looks like.
All right, let's do it. So each week, guys, we like to we're lucky enough, honestly, to have one of our partners pop in here and kind of talk to you about one of the biggest innovations in crypto, which is AI, right? So it's something that we've both been super bullish on. And what Emblem Vault is building, we talk about it each week, but they are building something truly awesome here. Let me find this thing. All right, yes. Emblem Vault's building Agent Hustle, which is tied up with something called migrate.fun. So migrate.fun is a way for you to migrate from, let's just say, pump to bunk, or from somewhere else to somewhere else. Let's just say you have a locked LP pool somewhere and you want it to potentially unlock it. Well, you would use something like migrate.fun. And what migrate.fun is doing is they're going to be doing this service for you, earning a fee, and then potentially using some of that fee to buy back the hustle token. This is a new thing for this cycle. It's called the flywheel, right? It's something that Adam talks a lot about when he was on the show. He kind of broke it down for us as well. And what they're building here, this is a thing. It's like a centipede, right? It's kind of just eating itself constantly, because that's the whole point. It's getting more hustle out of the market, and which is going to bring the hustle token up. And they're not just building that, they also have the NFT bridge where you take your ordinals, if you wanted to somewhere like Base, or bring stuff to the Bitcoin ecosystem. A lot of amazing stuff, but their main thing is interoperability. They want to be everywhere at once, and that is the best part about Emblem Vault. So let's bring them up here. Jake, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
What's good, fellas? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, man. It's a slow Friday, I feel like. Like the Bitcoin Asia conference is going on. Markets are probably not something to get super excited about today. But at the end of the day, we stay locked in and continually learn and build community. So what's been going on with you and Emblem and the hustle community? If you could maybe give us a quick update.
It does feel like engagement's down across the board. That's usually the big signal for where everyone is, and everyone's probably out touching grass, which is probably good for everyone's health. Honestly, I just think like buyers are fatigued from the last few months of buying treasury companies and buying this L1 and buying AI coins, right? And buying all these new meta protocols around Bitcoin. I think people are just exhausted, and rightfully so. We need a consolidation period, and a lot of coins have sold off and are starting to kind of build a floor, which seems like that's what Hustle's doing, as well as I'm kind of looking at the charts, as well as kind of sector wide. Like for the AI sector, I kind of monitor them all the same, and you can see they all move up and they all kind of move down together, outside of like, like news type events or price discovery where the price continues to run. But overall, I think it's pretty healthy for the market. I don't think we're anywhere close to being over. I know a lot of people are saying final innings or it's the top, but I just think there's way too many catalysts ahead, and there's way too much volume entering the market for this to be the top. I mean, granted, okay, worst case, we consolidate for 6 months, but when you get like a lot of institutional capital coming in, the market moves a lot slower. And for this to be the top, you have to have all these treasury companies unwind and buy at a discount. And for that to happen, they have to literally put monthly reports out or quarterly reports. So it's going to be like the slowest demolition of all time. And at that point, you'll probably see Michael Saylor buying a lot of these treasury companies at a discount. So I think we still have a long way to go before that actually happens.
Yeah.
Bitcoin treasury companies.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Or like the other
Yeah.
ones. Like if I was Michael Saylor, I would buy XYZ shitcoin treasury company at a discount and sell it for Bitcoin. Like why would you not do that? Like that to me seems like the most logical step.
Who's he selling it? I don't. So he would buy it from? Let's just say SharpLink, right? You just buy this company, and you just sell the Ethereum down and buy Bitcoin with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're buying it at a discount, why not? Right? I mean, I'm sure probably not Ethereum or Solana, but a lot of these other ones, like they're
the newer ones that are popping up.
They're eventually going to trade at a discount to NAV. And so if you're Michael Saylor, who your whole goal is to basically distress and utilize every single financial market and lever possible, the one that he's not accessed is buying discounted treasury companies. And so
that's gonna kill those tokens, though.
Because I mean, it follows this thesis. Like for him, he doesn't give a fuck. Like he's hell bent on buying as much Bitcoin as possible, and that's one way that you could get cheap Bitcoin.
Yeah. No, I mean you're right.
Think about that.
But I think that's probably later in the cycle. Like
that's why I'm saying it's like it's not the top. Like you haven't seen that kind of stuff happen yet.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm curious to who's saying it's the top though. I feel like
you looked at the timeline.
Peter Schiff.
oh, okay. Well, like I don't count.
It's the non-Bitcoiners.
I don't count Peter Schiff and all them as like people that are knowledgeable in the crypto cycles necessarily, but you're right. We haven't even gotten close to the cycle top because first of all, the DAT, the treasury companies haven't even started to invest in the second, third, fourth, fifth tier currencies, you know what I mean, or coins, right? So, you know, like we're hearing that Merlin's closing up something possibly, I think, or another, you know, like what was it, the IP story, yeah. They just closed something up. Hyperliquid has a DAT, and they just only have one right now. Some of these like Hyperliquid could get 5 or something like that, or 3 maybe, right? And so once they start to utilize their, because what they do initially is they sign letter of intents. So they'll do a letter of intent. We're going to invest 200 million into Hype, right? And then we will close it on this and this date. And then once that injection happens, which we saw recently with Solana, by the way, you see that like it injects, it props the price of that token up. And if there isn't a DeFi environment, it benefits immensely. Like Solana has 11.78 billion in TVL on their chain after that injection. So I don't know. I think that is kind of like the degen version of what we're used to, but from an institutional level is like these treasury companies pump these tokens, profits are made, and then that's whenever the risk on stuff starts to happen a little bit. But you're right. to end it, that might be the strategy for Saylor.
I mean, it's incredibly possible. The market is just so dopamine addicted, and they've just been so used to trading meme coins and short-term attention type ecosystems over the last 2 years or so that people forget that, you know, Wall Street and traditional finance moves on the 4-hour and daily and weekly charts. They do not typically trade or use the outlook of their markets on like the 5-minute chart, which is what most.
I love the 5-minute chart.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, even if you look at like the 1 second chart, it's pretty crazy. But
that's why they win, though.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a long-term outlook, and there, you know, there's still a lot of different markets that are forming, and to me, it just seems early. I know we're transitioning from this attention cycle, I think, into the intelligence cycle, but honestly, in between might be getting the enterprise cycle, which is like these, I guess I call it enterprise 2.0 or enterprise blockchain 2.0 with like the Google L1 and the Stripe L1, and now you have Circle, which is traditional. I mean, it's a crypto company, but it's more traditional finance. So you're getting those, and then you're going to get all the ICOs with the market structure bill. Like that stuff still hasn't come, and that's when you get literally, you know, tens of billions, hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars of liquidity coming on chain. That still could be a year away or so, but I don't know. So, I'm unconvinced that the 4-year cycle is still in play here. I mean, it's possible, but you know, Bitcoin dips 30, 40, 50% at most, maybe 60% at most at some point. But the way that all these altcoins have been resetting over the last year, I mean, if you look at just the AI sector, you see all these coins literally run to all-time high and then all the way to all-time low and then back to all-time high and then back to low. And it just like keeps going up and down from like high to low over the last year, like 3 different times. And so,
except for Bitcoin. Yeah.
Because they all move off of Bitcoin.
Yeah. But what do you think about this? So you just mentioned something interesting about like Google's L1 that's coming out and Stripe and all this stuff. These are very successful Web2 companies that have a lot of capital backing them for successful strategies for revenue increase. So they're very much about like metrics. If it doesn't hit this, we cut this department, or if we don't do this, we do this. I'm thinking that like they're about to run circles around a lot of these traditional Web3 companies that like aren't used to dominating that much. And Google is very proud, and that's why I think they're rolling out their own L1, is because they're like, we could build something like a million times better than what they got and all this stuff. I do think like the ones that are grassroots and stuff, I feel like Emblem is really good position, but I'm talking about more in the lines of like, you know, the Web3 companies that like have been around for 6 months and they're just trying like only like degen stuff, not necessarily infrastructure. Do you think they get pushed out and it's more of like serious business after like starting next year and on?
I'm a little bit more on the opposite side. I'm a little bit skeptical of the traditional finance and traditional kind of tech companies coming in and building L1s, because I think it's a much different business of coming in and building payment rails versus being a blockchain operator, right? At that point, you have nodes that have to be operated. There's decentralized infrastructure. I mean, they could come in and do this like closed source, quote unquote, public blockchain, but we've kind of ran that playbook already. I mean, not to the scale of companies like Google and such doing it, but I think they're just two completely different spaces of trying to sell block space versus trying to sell a tech product. It's completely different. But, you know, some of them will probably have success. I don't think all of them will. And if they come in and do this private blockchain version, then we've seen that already. And these companies have every right and entitlement to try to monetize all of their fees and try to find different areas of margins so that they can be profitable. But I still remain convinced that crypto culture is permeating all over, and it is going to supersede a lot of the traditional world, even if they have, you know, an abundance of capital even more. We see this in crypto consistently. You have teams coming in with no VC funding, or, you know, CEOs or founders coming in with having no social following and coming in just being completely successful because they could have this kind of grassroots movement online. And you're competing now, like Google, for example. When you come in and build a layer 1 blockchain, if you're going to do it in the public forum, you're competing against the whole world. You're not completely competing against just the US and the US regulations and the regulatory capture that they have across all of these different regions in the world. They have like literally unfettered access and a non-regulated environment across the entire world. And I just think it's a completely different competitive environment for them to play in. And, you know, they can definitely be successful, but I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. If we removed institutions, those Web2 corporations as well, and the TradFi people, where would we be this cycle?
Honestly, altcoin prices would probably be a lot higher, to be honest, because a lot of the capital would not be stuck on, it would not be wrapped or stuck on, you know, the traditional finance rails like on the stock market. A lot of it would probably be existing in the altcoin markets. Bitcoin probably would not be as high, but I think a lot of the altcoins would probably be much higher.
So you think they've suppressed the more risk on assets, basically?
I wouldn't say it's suppressed intentionally. It's just the majority of capital is now, you know, is not staying on chain. It's off chain, and all of the speculative new money is entering crypto through the stock market. It's not entering on chain, right? And all these altcoins are not on chain. That's why you see a lot of these like alt layer 1 companies coming in and trying to build these treasury companies because they're trying to access that capital because that's where they know the capital exists right now. And
Yeah.
things like Hustle, we don't have a Hustle, treasury company for
Not yet. Not yet.
right? For any degen to go ape on the stock market.
Stan is in the works, by the way, on that. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go, Stan.
100%. Yeah, I mean, so with these companies and they're building these because I'm still kind of stuck on Michael Saylor potentially coming in because that kind of blew my mind. I didn't even think about that coming in and just completely just buying the company, scrapping it, taking the crypto, dumping it for Bitcoin. Because let's just say he buys it for $2 million, there's $3 million worth of crypto in there. He dumps that because he doesn't care, and he uses that's crazy to me. That was awesome. But let's try to jump into what you guys are building. Last time we talked to you, migrate.fun, you guys were talking about the audit in process. You're saying basically second week of September. Are we still in line for the second week of September with migrate.fun?
I wouldn't put specifics, but yeah, mid-September. We've already notified all of our migrating teams when they're going to be onboarded. So what's most important here is the teams that we're taking care of and teams that are using our platform. And they've been informed when the audit is going to be completed or expected completion date, and when that they're going to be onboarded. And we've already started scheduling calls with them, and we have an expected date. I'm not confident to put the date out public because you know how the crypto is. Once you say a date, they hold it to you forever, and they completely, and anything that changes, whether it's for technical reasons or such, like they just bring out all the pitchforks. But yeah, we have a date when it's set in place, and so we know we took the longer route. It was requested, as we said, by Bongfun and by Radium, and also just it's the right thing to do. This is a very complex application, and even Halborn, who has put their highest security auditor on for Solana, said that this is one of the most complex Solana applications they've ever seen. So it's the right thing to do, and it took, it's going to takes like an extra month on the time, but we need to make sure that everything is secure. And there's been no critical vulnerabilities. There has been some like small things here and there that need to be updated, or the auditor needs to understand it a little bit deeper. But because we're going through this process, I'm even more confident that anybody who wants to build a migration tool is going to have a pretty challenging time. Not to say they can't do it, but they have to go through the same exact process that we did. So we have a head start and such, but we also have 20 teams that are lined up ready to go.
Yeah. Exactly. Shout out to your team too. Shout out Bunzi. Shout out to the dev team and all that stuff, man. Because for someone that is a part of the auditing team to say this is like complex and unique, that's a shout out to your dev team.
They put us at the highest security or highest difficulty level, so we had to pay the highest. It was very expensive, very expensive audit, but that's what they deemed when they first looked at it. And so, it's cool. I've seen out recently that there's been a handful of teams and launchpads and stuff saying that they're building their own migration tools, which, I hope they do. And we can kind of see on the battlefield, how these things work. We've had some community members and holders and stuff be fearful that these like other companies are going to come in and build their own native migration tools. And, they very well could be, but at this point in time, after I've been building for 3 years, a lot of it's like, I'll believe it when I see it. Although to say it's not that I disbelieve them. It's that for them saying they're going to build a migration tool in 2 weeks, I absolutely do not believe.
Yeah. And you guys are all about like controlling what you can control and what product you put out, not what variables you can't control, right? So I think if you guys just keep doing what you're doing, the product's going to be top notch.
Yeah, we saw like the Believe app founder had said that the migration tools are going to end the Launchpad wars, which I thought was like a pretty impactful thing to say. Although his theory is like, because teams can move across all these different launchpads and LPs now pretty accessibly, that the Launchpad wars would be over. I think it would actually be the opposite. I think it would probably be the next evolution of launchpads, because now Now you can't just offer a launchpad because you're the only player in town. Now you have to offer interoperability or incentives or some sort of like intelligence layer. There's got to be something that people are going to want to participate in, or they come in, they use the incentives and they move on. On the other side, we saw like one of the Meteora co-founders or devs or whatever. He was completely against migrations, and then he came out like 2 days ago and said migrations are going to change everything. Right. So it took him about took him about a month to kind of come to full circle that creators want and builders, they want choice, and I think that they totally should. And the one thing I'd say to all the people who are listening is that, you know, if you're fearful that all these other companies could build a migration tool, what's to say that maybe they're talking about us? How do you know we're not talking to them and in contact with everybody already?
A Meteora Hustle Migrate Fund partnership would be, it would be insane. That
No, you
would
gotta
be insane, to
you
say the
gotta get
least.
that. You gotta get that. You gotta get that seaport level. Once you get there, they don't need to worry about anything. You know what I mean?
We do pretty good at, like, we have a pretty good flow now with our team, and we're about to hire another developer. I had a call with him this morning, so we'll be 5 devs and 4 non-devs.
Yeah.
So we can start to scale hustle. But we, between me, Adam, and Chris, we do a pretty good job on business development and start the conversations early before, so that we could lay the groundwork for our devs to do the right stuff. And we're generally in contact with most people, or have at least tried. Or we have community members who are like, hey, you need to do this. And then we say, well, go bring them to the table. And so a lot of times they will. Sometimes they don't. Some people are a little bit tougher to reach, but we definitely do our best to reach out to every single team who could be a potential partner. And some of them are responsive, some are a little bit territorial, and we try to offer, you know, partnerships and things like that. And so, you know, the majority of teams kind of, you know, I guess you would say consider it and then never actually act on it. And then some teams actually take it full, you know, take it the full length. And we'll see that over this next month of the teams who do and the teams who don't. And, you know, we're just going to continue doing what we can.
Is this is it in the plans to make it kind of like a follow that seaport blueprint to where you make the SDK is just such a convenience for like these, you know, entities that they're just like, okay, we'll just skin it and do it our, you know, aesthetically our way, but then we're just going to use migrate.fund and back.
It's a thought. Our focus right now really is just really, I mean, I sound like a dead horse, just say like beating a dead horse saying this, but our focus really is the first 20 people on the platform. And it's a lot of management. There's questions that pop up late. There's people who bail out. There's new people who want to come in. There's new questions. People fearful that other teams are going to come build their launch pads or their migration tools. Like it's a new thing every single day. People want more marketing stuff. People want us to respond on behalf of Bonk Fun and Radium, right? And there's expectations that maybe are not met in some people's case. And, you know, we try to balance all of it, although a handful of things are out of our control. But we do maintain the relationships that we can with the resources that exist.
Love it. 100%. Let's move along to Hustle, if you don't mind. So you guys had just put out this leaderboard that I love because I am on it. So this is the leaderboard, 60 participants so far. Could you kind of explain how are we getting these Aurora points? I'm on right there, number 4, and the fact that you're gonna name this after me if I get to number 1. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of just break this down for anyone first time seeing this.
It's an MVP product. Currently, there's 3 categories: are referral links, and PNL. We've already gotten a few good suggestions from community members who have looked at it. There's also a few things that we need to edit. But the ARA category is like a social score. We partnered with the ARA tracker, which also provides services for Alchemist as well, right? So it's a similar product to what other InfoFi products offer, like Kaido and like Cookie and etc. And some people may ask, well, why didn't you use their services? And it's like, well, we had this tailored specifically to us, so it felt like a better relationship. The cost is much more effective than paying $3,000 to $5,000 a month for the InfoFi services, where they might not be as responsive to somebody who's going to be working for you. And Aura, it tracks social engagement, and it tracks like keywords and certain things for the Hustle and Emblem kind of ecosystem. And we're going to continue to adjust it. And it's been tracking it for a while. And so that's kind of the total, or this might be the weekly. I think this is the weekly that it shows. We do need to put a time filter up there so that you can. And then the referrals are everybody has a referral link right on in your balances. And so yeah, that's Mav is the number one with the referral link. Yeah, he's been killing it with his. I highly suggest a lot of people to go to his trading group, prompting group. They've been crushing it. Last weekend, I think somebody made like 6 figures using Hustle.
Oh, wow.
What?
Together. Yeah, they found the like DAOs.fun meta early, and they found the LLM. I think it was like Latina language model or something like that. When it was like of $100,000 and ran to like 20 million.
Oh my god,
dude! They consistently put out like 10 to 100 X's. So I highly recommend people. Jack and Switch is also in that trading group as well now, and also 300 Artist is also in that trading group. So they've been doing a good job and pushing and really pushing it forward. So yeah, I recommend everyone to go follow Crazy Crypto, who goes by Mav, and reach out to him. I think he has it open for a little bit longer. It used to be like a paid group, but he's opened it to the crypto world. Yeah, so he's got the Discord. Yeah, you just go in there, talk to him, say you want to talk about Hustle. He's really good at prompting, so look for that. He's a really good dude. And then the PNL is something that we're kind of consistently working on. There's some bugs in it, and we're still trying to improve the conditional trading engine as well. There's a few other like edge cases that we found. So with PNL, this just tracks your total conditional trade. I think we're actually going to change this to volume based. So it shows how much trading volume you have. There was like an issue with the APIs that existed on Solana where you can't get like an actual trading balance. It's like you have to do certain calculations. So with our new developer, we'll be able to attack a lot of this stuff pretty immediately. But the whole reason we did this is like our building style is that we put these MVP products out in public and we see the community response. And we look for any of the issues and the critiques and suggestions, and we'll go in and fix that. And we'll try to figure out what's the best direction to build this thing. The whole idea is that once we're about to enter this next era of Hustle beginning next week, where basically everything from V3 is kind of built out. And now we're kind of really starting V4, which is like the expansion and gamification. And the whole idea here would be there's going to be, anywhere from 3 to 8 categories, and it'll have you'll have like a total Hustle score at the end. And then that will be like the rewards, right, for the ecosystem. So we're kind of testing out the different categories now. And, at some point, probably by the end of the year, this will be tied up into a nice, real kind of social gamified product. And so for the sign-ins itself, if you signed in if you created an account with your X account on Hustle, you don't have to do anything. If you signed in with like Phantom or MetaMask, all you have to do is go down to the settings tab. So if you go to the bottom left, hit settings, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom of settings, you could sign in with your Twitter right there. Yeah. So then that will populate in the leaderboard. So we released that. We also released PNL cards as well. So if you go to the conditional trading, go to conditional. If you go to, you don't have any there, but if you go to closed, or if you go to any closed trade, there's like a share your PNL card.
Gotcha.
And so we've got that. There's some adjustments that also need to be made with the PNL card as well. But that's what traders wanted. And we're going to be making some adjustments to the conditional engine. Actually, devs are doing it right now. And then one final thing actually is we're going to be rolling out subscriptions later today. So today, wow. I think so. Yeah. As long as everything goes well. So we'll launch it. It'll go live, and then we'll publicize it like a few days later. But yeah, everyone's gonna have to pay now, which goes into the revenue, right? A lot of companies, a lot of people track tokens based off of revenue, and also we need to become more profitable. There's some days where it's losing battle, and also we really just got to attack the spammers. There's some days that this inference cost in a day gets into like the thousands of dollars because there's people who are literally just sitting there spamming it, right? So there will be a free tier. There'll be so the free tier, it's going to be called the hustle tier. And then the mid tier will be called pro. And then there will be an elite tier. So those will be the 2 paid levels. And then we're going to begin offering different types of premium products for the paid services. So the free tier will have, limited toolboxes, and you'll have a limit on the amount of memories you can do and the amount of conditional trades. And then as you get into the paid tiers, there will be a lot more kind of curated products for like presets for the toolbox and additional kind of conditional trading and bonus and points when we add the points and various kind of stuff like that, especially as we get into cross-chain, which we're working on the EVM side of things. Actually, we started this week. So we have the EVM wallets done. Now it's just building out the tooling for all of it.
So you're basically giving Hustle an EVM wallet inside. So when you deposit Ethereum and stuff like that, Hustle would have access to using that for you on your behalf.
Yeah. So there's going to be like there's some UI designs that we're kind of discussing on how it should look. Right? How do you flip back and forth between the different chains? But then also inside of the prompting box, you should, in theory, be able to prompt for Ethereum and Solana and whatever without having to click a button, right? But then on the dashboard side, on the left side, you'll need to be able to flip back between the Hustle and the Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Hyperliquid and all the kind of XYZ Polymarket and stuff. And I think that's really where this thing goes to the next level, when you can do trenching across multiple chains at the same time, or you can, for example, flip from Solana to Stacks to Abstract in a click of a button, and you don't have to have multiple wallets. It's just all on kind of one page. I think that's really where that's really the future of crypto UX, and it becomes a lot more approachable to the everyday person. Actually, kind of funny stories. I was having onboarding conversations with one of the developers that we're bringing on, and in the background, his wife was using Hustle in the background.
What?
Yeah, and his wife doesn't use crypto. He had her because he was kind of learning the system and stuff, and so he just had his wife use it and get her thoughts on it. And she doesn't do crypto at all, right? So like these kind of testimonials and these anecdotes, really play well towards people not needing crypto experience to come in and use it. And there's a handful of other people that I'm in contact with who literally don't use crypto at all, but somehow they stumbled across Hustle and they use it like every day, and they don't really know how to do anything else on chain.
Wow. Well, speaking, to add to that point, I wanted to ask you about this, like B&B Day event in Tokyo. CZ stated that if he was 20 years younger, he would build a simple AI trading agent and a privacy-focused perpetual DEX. So other than the perpetual DEX, which I know is kind of probably in your roadmap as well, it seems like the brightest minds in all of crypto is thinking that Agent Hustle is on track of what the future is. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we just got to execute. I think there's 5 products or so that are all kind of competing for this top space, but right now it's more of a land grab, right? Bankers kind of really cannibalized a lot of the L2 space, at least for base. Doesn't mean that we're definitely going to be there, but it's going to be, right, we're not going to be the leaders there like we kind of are on Solana right now. And the AI terminal market is just going to be so large that there's plenty of room for all of these teams to grow very big, as well as a lot of niche newcomers. And so we're kind of going after the generalized AI terminal, but you will see AI agents and companions specific to different types of crypto products. Like I saw earlier this week, OpenSea launched their AI MCP server, And so they're obviously building their own AI companion for OpenSea, and you'll see this kind of across all of the different products. But CZ's right. I don't think there can be a much larger intersection of the online world than crypto and AI. Those are literally like the two of the three biggest phenomenons to hit the internet since it started. The other one really being social media. And so, you get the convergence of all three of these, which is kind of like the crypto world or the attention markets on crypto, that it's just going to be so big. So for us, it's about just remaining competitive, surviving, staying alive, continuing to generate revenue, continuing to add value to the Hustle token, and also trying to figure out how to merge all of our ecosystems. Like right now we have, Agent Hustle and Migrate Fund. We also have Emblem Vault. Right. Emblem Vault kind of has its own ecosystem, but is pretty substantial. So you try to figure out how to cross blend all of these together to create a kind of unified ecosystem to compete with all of these larger teams who have raised, hundreds of millions of dollars and who have dozens of team members. We're going to be at 9. And, I mean, the optimal team size seems to be around like 11 to 15. Hyperliquid has 11 people. Radium has 11 people. And so, yeah, we just need to be smart and tactical, continue to do what we're doing, and make sure that we don't make any bad decisions or go down any paths that are a dead end, or paths that we don't find opportunity where the partner wants to work with us.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of opportunity, I threw a soul in my hustle this morning, and I was hoping we can do some trading here. So if I was new and just kind of messing around, what would you kind of recommend me do first?
Honestly, I would probably just click one of the 4 buttons of what are we doing today. Click
low
on
cap gems.
low cap gems. Low cap
All right,
gems.
low
There
cap
you go.
gems. Let's do it.
It's the easiest way to start. I know we need to add like more of these people have asked for, and other optimizations, which we want to do, but this seems to be kind of like the best starting point. Most people are just trading and they want to look for tokens. It depends really on like how deep you want to go to kind of find the right opportunities there. And then also, if you go to the toolbox, there's a few other tools that I generally use if I'm like looking for coins. I would go turn on Meteora DBC. That's the Meteora Launchpad. Turn off liquidity pools, because remember, more tools on means the slower it is. Then go to analyst. Click on the analyst tab. Scroll to the top. Yeah, that seems to be pretty good. Go down a little bit. I'd turn off advanced search. So that that's up at the top.
Okay.
Yeah, so that just turns off the web browsing. So InfoFi, scroll down a little bit. Like you want to keep InfoFi on. You want to do like this social thing. So like users, narratives. So scroll up a little bit. So if you just look for like the social category. So scroll down a little bit. So like users, turn that on. Use
users. Right there.
So turn that one on. Scroll down a little bit. You're probably going to want to turn on coin prices. Scroll down
Dex
a little
volumes.
bit more. Yeah, you can look at Dex volumes. This is fine. Scroll down a little bit more. On-chain data is one that you're going to want. I think that's fine.
Whale analytics. I like that.
Yeah. So, this is what I mean by like, we want to create presets. Like for what we realize is if you just keep this kind of open-ended, he may have stopped because you're like flicking things on and off. You could honestly just say continue. Just type in continue.
Would it make sense to integrate eventually like Axiom or Photon into this, or no?
Well, if Axiom and Photon are front ends that are built on top of all of these other APIs, like Drupal and stuff. So we would essentially like replace them, right? Like integrating them. We'd have to find like some sort of partnership where you'd like be like, okay, this is the Photon trading terminal or something like that, right? But essentially we'd be kind of like a competitor where they would actually where they would probably also build like an AI companion. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case.
Yeah.
And you could see even he was looking for Meteora DBC after you kind of turned it on. So those are kind of 4 tokens. It looks like he didn't give the full report because he got cut off a little bit. But you could kind of look through the tokens. Pete Parker, just tell him, say give me more details on your suggestions. And so then he'll kind of come in and give it. Yeah, he's been a little buggy recently. So, and this has to do with like the toolbox stuff. So with the subscriptions, this is going to help a lot. Which it looks like devs are doing pretty good at. I could see over here to the left.
I might get in this Peter Parker here.
What else is there? So if you click
the right.
Click next. Yeah, click the right.
Oh,
yeah,
there's more here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flipper, Cled AI.
Latina language model.
Yeah, that's the one that I was
so
talking
funny
about.
to me.
That's the one that I was talking about.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know these were here. These
yeah, so you could turn that off if you want to. It looks like there is a bug right there. I wonder why he's not giving us more kind of information.
I'm just gonna I want to get a little bit of this, so I'm gonna tell it to
Peter Pauka.
Yeah, so this like
Poker.
buy button, this was something that people had suggested in the very early days. Everyone's like, we want more buy buttons. So we just try to put the simple buy button there for everyone. You can also click on the chart button as well. We'll pull up the chart. If you
And you guys have integration with what is the chart? What's the chart partner that you guys use? I forgot.
We use Bird Eye usually.
Bird Eye, yeah.
Bird Eye. That's like the top Solana one. So this is like for real-time data. They're really like one of the only players in town. It's kind of crazy. So on Ethereum, there's like 10 of these products. On Solana, there's like
go to the minute chart, Shizzy. I'm just curious because that
we're going lower.
Scroll in. Okay. Yeah, because
are you top blasting it right now?
I mean,
yeah, I am actually. I got a little bit though. So, but like if I wanted to, let's just go back to my balances now because it should show that I have that.
Yeah, so here, you could do is say like say give me say I want to set up a conditional trade for Poker. Give me, two examples of what a good conditional trade would be.
What is it? PAWKER. Give me examples.
Yeah, and if you go, say give me, you got to try to be as specific as possible. Say give me 2 examples, okay. I guess. Okay. And then after that you could say like you could add on any requirements if you wanted, like needs, like or like any
so I can be like I'm poor.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think this is good. For now. And then he's going to actually break down exactly what
he
should look like.
I think what it should look like, because I was going to say to optimize that prompt, I think you could be like, give me 2 optimal examples or something like that, like the best case scenarios.
Yeah, so here's 2 of them. So you could even just hit the X on the app, so it's just larger, and then scroll down. Bottom right, it'll take you to the.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's 2 different types of conditional trades. So he says, when it breaks it above, or you could say example 2. So if you wanted to execute one of them, you could say, execute example 1 or execute example 2, and he'll set up the conditional trade for you. So you don't even have to really do anything.
That's awesome.
And the conditional trade is like limit order. It's like advanced limit orders, right? So it'll be like, so this one, it's like buy. So like number 2, it's like, it'll buy Poker when the price drops by 17%, and then he'll set a take profit at 57% from the entry point.
Are these suggestions based off of like technical analysis that's kind of wrapped into the AI, or
ask him? And yeah, I don't know. Ask him. Ask him what he's using for his
suggestions. Yeah.
This is like it's like some of the interesting parts of AI, right? Is like when somebody has like a technical issue, you have to most of the time you'll say ask Hustle, what's the issue? But then sometimes because they've put so much, if they've put so much context into him, then he'll begin to hallucinate, and then he'll believe his own hallucinations. So people will come to us and like, this is the issue. And I'm like, no, Hustle's definitely lying here. And they're like, no, he told me this. And I'm like, no, this bro is definitely hallucinating. But on other sides of it, the outputs of this stuff is so difficult to predict that you just literally got to ask him. But sometimes you got to be very specific. So now that it's open, if you go over to the conditional trade, the conditional app, it should be showing up right there.
Oh,
yeah,
that's so cool.
So then you can click the drop down, and it just should, you can click the expansion there, and it'll give you kind of a little bit more details if you want. So yeah, so you can see down there the pending order is the sell. So if you package it back up, it's a little bit easier to see. You'll see that so the amount is 0.05 SOL. So he's going to buy Hawker when at the execution price, which is 0.0014. And then once it executes at 0.0014, it'll then sell at either the stop loss price or the take profit price.
And this could happen until I stop it, right? Like he could potentially do this, or is just doing it one time?
Yeah. So that will stay open until so either execute, so until it executes, right? Or until you hit the X button. We have actually, because we started the P&L, we're also considering with the X button to be able to close the swap early in some situations. Because right now it's like if you just X, it's like it cancels the order. But for some traders though, like if it executes at 0.0014, they want to be able to swap it early. Right. And like they want to, if it goes to like 0.0018, they would want to just close it early instead of having it fully executed at 0.002. So these kind of like small edge cases and stuff, like it all comes from like people using the platform and saying like, hey, you know, I'm used to this or this kind of situation. And sometimes it's tough to predict what people want. So yeah, some further conditional kind of stuff there, but go ahead and ask him what what parameters did you use to determine your suggestion for example 2. So
what parameters did you what? I'm sorry.
Use to determine.
Yeah. And I got a good prompt after this one too, which will be kind of fun.
To determine the strategy for option 2.
Yeah. So it's fun to just sit here and kind of like ask him.
Great question. Let's break down the specific parameters. So
yeah, see, he seems pretty quick today, actually. So that's pretty good.
Super quick.
You know, it's dude with some of these AI models, like with OpenAI and Anthropic and stuff, they go down literally all the time. Like there was an outage the other day. It happens a few times a week. Not to put blame on it, but it's weird that some days he's like super fast, and then some days he's like kind of slow. So, it looks like he used the liquidity depth, holder growth, volume patterns, and recent price action. It looks like that was what he used to determine the strategy. Essentially buys fear when others panic sell, and then riding the recovery to logical resistance levels while
emotions are taken out, basically, which is what you want.
Yeah. So
I love this, dude. This is so cool.
So here's one. So you can actually target certain toolboxes. So this is one that I use a lot for like social analysis. Say use your social intelligence tools to determine.
You can just right click
intelligence tools to what? No.
Say to determine trending mimetic MEM.
Mimetic.
MEM, yeah. Mimetic tokens. MEMETIC.
ETIC. Oh, okay.
Yeah, mimetic tokens. So and then put across Pump Fund, Launch Lab, and Meteora DBC. Those are the three main launch pads. So like for example, so like if you say Launch Lab is
word.
utxofun, and it's also bonkfun, etc. Meteora DBC is like Believe app and Bags and Moonshot and like all of these other new ones that are kind of popping up. So you're basically saying use your social intelligence tools to basically look for, you know, memes that look relevant across all of the launch pads is kind of like what you're
All
asking.
done.
None.
No, he said all done.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait,
Why do you
he
pump
said
on
none.
tokens?
Yeah, he did
Oh.
say none.
Yeah, I don't know. Why I don't know why he said that. He's like, your memes are dead, dude.
It's all over.
There are no memes.
Now you got to use me for all peoples. No.
Right. So you get to, you know, you could play around with it. Like there's one of
Yeah.
our other power users, Jack. He created some sort of like thing called the Alpha Beast, which uses like a bunch of different memories, which is like some sort of token analytic platform. Oh damn, we hustling. Yeah, see Mav, that's the guy I was telling you about. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, Mav, I need access to Discord, bro.
Yeah, they tried. Mav, you can
Me
see your name
too.
up top. Yeah. So yeah, you want to be
Oh.
in there.
He has a special account, I guess. He says he's always fast with his favorite users. I
Mm.
need that Mav account, brah.
Yeah,
Adam says pay per month with a discount if you pay with Hustle. Ooh,
Yeah, someone
I
asked
love
a
that.
question earlier about it says right here from System Trader, subscription with holding Hustle or pay per month, and Adam was answering that basically.
yeah, it's pay. Yeah, we learned from previous experience with Emblem that if you just have people hold something for a value, they just buy the token, use it for whatever it needs to, and then they just sell it right after. Right. And then you could do like a staking thing, which is what people do. But as of now, it's paper. We have ideas for staking programs that we want to do to roll out later. But you know, it's like a time and resources thing to see. This man's still finding, dude. This guy's cooking on his search. Hopefully he doesn't time out. May have overloaded him a little bit with too many of the launch
questions were, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people aren't asking him a lot of those questions for sure.
Well, if he comes back,
yeah,
let me know.
I'm gonna mess around too. I'm gonna join Mav's Discord and kind of see. I have one Solana on here now. Let's see if I have less than one Solana next week. Or let's see if I have more than one.
You should have told him to give you an analysis on Trench Kitty.
Oh, he just said he's gonna let us in, brah.
There you go.
My God.
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
really
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I did like a conditional trade with Trench Kitty the other day. Bags
Nice.
down,
Yeah, I saw you
bags
posted.
down a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Kind of
Well,
expected.
it's because we did an airdrop and everyone's poor right now, and they all decided to bridge it
Oh,
back.
did they? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I was watching the bridge and it was like 150,000, 150,000, 100.
Hey, it's all
Damn
about innovation and bringing new technology to.
It's all
How
about
is that-
people
how is
being
that
some kind of
going?
import for $30.
Are people actually buying on the Bitcoin side?
Yeah, they are actually.
They are.
Yeah, we got about it's a lot lower than, it's about 10% of what Solana is, but it still is.
That's
But
still
we
not bad.
are no, we're opening our staking vaults on Monday. It's gonna be open for 10 days. So from the
10
1st
days?
to the 10th, you'll be able to
open.
stake your
Okay.
yeah, you'll be able to stake your TK. We're giving away 3% of the supply, which is 35 million tokens to the stakers. So if there's 10 stakers in there, or if there's 100, it doesn't matter. That's going to get basically broken down into all the stakers. So if you obviously if you stake 1 million and someone stakes 100K, you'll get the equivalent. So it'll be
See, I thought that was a super cool idea. That's like the whole point of interoperability, is having something to do on the other side, right? Like the reason people would vault rare pepes is to trade, but not only to trade, people would vault rare pepes to go lend against them somewhere, right? So I thought like taking Trench Kitty, also just going from Solana to Bitcoin is unique, but then having them able to do something with Bitcoin DeFi, I thought was like super cool. I don't think I've seen anyone really do that. So
yeah,
you guys are also on the frontier of that.
Exactly. And I mean, like the bridge part, like the airdrop is the airdrop. We're gonna get through that part, but it's cool that they can bridge, back and forth. Solana, Bitcoin, and it is a 90-day lockup, but it's worth it because, like Shizzy said, you get rewarded there. But yeah, that's awesome that you used Hustle for that.
So, yeah, it's fun, dude. Did he ever end up loading or what? Did he time out on your?
He timed out.
Took a break.
Yeah, I gave him too much information, too many launch pads. Yeah, hit continue. I just want to see what he comes up with.
Can I do something like, hey, can you just buy me the top 3, or will he just kind of
Yeah, you can
give
do
me
that.
the top 3 first? And is there a way for me to like just tell him like, hey, like I just want you to do just buy the top 3. I don't care what they are.
Yeah. So I mean, an all-in-one prompt, you could say,
Okay.
you know, look through the pump fund trenches, buy the top 3 tokens, and use whatever conditional order that you want or whatever. Like you can do it like that, just like what we did, but all in one single prompt. So he says, let me use my social intelligence. Yeah, so he seems to be. We've been getting a lot of scroll down a little bit. Let's see if he's still kind of searching.
Yeah, that happens to me with ChatGPT, like the latest version.
Yeah,
too. Sometimes if like you'll have too many requests and you just need to re-ask them or refresh the page.
Yeah, dude. There's there's something called context engineering, which I've been learning a lot about with the devs over the last few months, and it's like this idea of like, how do you optimize the system on the back end between like their system prompt and like the on-chain tooling to get them to basically, you know, bypass certain tools to use the right one. And it's kind of like, it reminds me a lot of like biohacking, if you're ever like into that. The AI is like exactly the same idea on the back end. And so as we build, we kind of learn all these different tips and nuances and ways to like optimize on the back end, but we still end up running into like the limitations of what the AI models can actually do. So I suspect in like a year or so, like a lot of this stuff will probably be patched and fixed in terms of like the speed and efficiency, but just understanding what to use today is right. So, oh wow, so he got some Meteora tokens. He got some Radium tokens. Oh wow, these are a lot of examples. It looks like these are mostly the Meteora DBC. Yeah. So this tells me when I look at it, it is like we weren't specific enough for him. So it should have, with the prompt, I should have said like, give me the top 3 tokens from Pump Fund, Meteora DBC, and Launch Labs, because he just ended up doing 15 tokens from kind of mostly Meteora, but he also did some Radium ones as well. So this is just kind of how you get better. Honestly, using Mav's trading group, these guys literally have got blueprints for like what to input on how to get exactly what you want. And that's where I think the actual skill is going to be in a year from now. Trading in crypto is going to be knowing how to prompt. That's literally that's how you are going to be the superior trader.
Yeah, Mav, if you're interested, man, I would love to do like something with you. We can kind of just go and kind of hang out with Hustle and just kind of maybe you can walk us through, like a segment, potentially like a prompting segment for trading that could be really fun as well as potentially lucrative for the viewers.
Yeah, it would be dope. We've had him on the show. He's a beast. Mav, you definitely want to do it. And yeah, I'm glad that you guys had fun. We're going to continue to grow. I have fun building it. It's obviously frustrating as a builder at times because you kind of, and you guys learn this with like Trench Kitty, right? There's always something for people to complain about, whether it's like the price or the amount that they got airdropped or the system's not working, or, you know, they were home, they were with their kids doing something. And so they missed a tweet or whatever it is. Like there's always something to complain about. So as long as
kids are always getting in the way, bro. I mean.
Right. So as long
I'm trying to make money over here. Yeah.
It's true. I mean, as long as you could, like, as a builder, and you get this as well as like a content creator, as long as you could kind of have some tough skin and just, you know, be able to kind of see through the different, you know, the euphoric posts as well as kind of the doomerism posts, and try to figure out what people are actually asking and try not to take it, you know, personal. It's hard sometimes, but as long as you don't, then you can build effective products. And so, you know, we all learn every day to continue to build, but at the end of the day, you just got to hustle as we all do.
Perfect.
It's kind of like this too, right? Like you can have a hammer, but if you don't know how to swing it correctly, or if you can't hit a nail, I mean, it's useless. But if you're somebody who can really train, you know, yourself to be able to use something like this and figure out the prompts, or go to chat groups where they already have the prompts kind of ready for you, you know, basically teaching you how to use that hammer. I mean, this is like 1 and 2, having this group and this together. I mean, this could potentially be the next big thing.
Yeah, I mean, we have a much larger idea on kind of inner flywheel ecosystem with Hustle. I think we need to get the user base up to probably about 1,000 daily active users for it to work. But
Yeah.
yeah, we have ideas on how to do like I don't want to say all of it, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty big idea. Just got to increase the tooling, and I think if you're an effective prompter, then this will be something that you're going to want to participate in.
Yeah.
And I think all the people who are using it early will be the ones who will probably be showcased in this product whenever we could get to it.
Absolutely. You know, it's like I think it's going to be like a big tool in your toolbox, but it's still like in your toolbox, right? So like there's skills that are developed. We already see that with Maverick, right? Like you know, Jake's told us about that. That same thing went through like Photon and Axiom for them to set up their settings and get really good at it. Except for this is not going away. Like the sniper bots and stuff, like this will, in my opinion, kind of replace that. Because now you set up your settings with social narratives and stuff like that instead of you could do Twitter followings on those Axiom bots and stuff like that. But it's better to be able to just communicate with like an assistant, especially if you're really good at prompting. So you can save time, be effective, efficient, optimal user. And that's the idea. And you'll start to get a base of those people and they'll win. They'll start winning more and more.
Yeah, that's the goal, right? You need to have that like community net worth effect where a lot of people get rich, and then that kind of trickles down into the token, and then the token and that value then trickles down into like the inter-economy incentives, right? And then it kind of grows into larger speculation, and right, that's kind of like the flywheel. It's not just like tokenomics, right? There's a kind of a whole social side to it that also has to proliferate for these kind of flywheels to take off.
Yeah. And cross chain, I can't wait till that, because that's the biggest game changer, in my opinion. These bots and these platforms, you can't do cross chain stuff. You're going to be able to do stuff on EVM chains and all in one spot. That is the, I think, game changer of everything.
Yeah. Like, for example, one of like the technical conversations we're having is, okay, let's say we have Solana, you know, hype, abstract, Ethereum and base and ordinals or whatever kind of, or runes live. It's like, how do you set up the toolbox to where you can do cross-chain trending inside of a single prompt, right? So there's like this whole architecture kind of conversation that has to exit, or we have to undergo. And then from the user side as well, right? It's this question, I think I presented it last time. It's like, well, if you have like a preset, right, and Hustle for people to come, where every single user has this preset where you're automatically looking for the trenches on Pump Fun, on Clinker, on Base, and wherever on
For
Abstract,
meme.
and for meme on Binance. Is that what actually creates the demand for a lot of the speculation in these ecosystems? Because all of these users on this platform are getting similar recommendations from these AIs. Right. And so it's, you know, to me, I think, yes, right. I think that's kind of, it becomes a self-perpetuating flywheel within itself, where it's like, the more people who use the AI, the more the AI recommends the same token or similar tokens, because people are buying it on the platform, because there's more volume. Right. And so you get your alpha there. And then he's also creating the like exit strategies for all these people as well. Right. It's the hustle cabal. And so you could kind of see this future where it's like, oh, fuck, if I'm here early and learning this, when that flood does come, when you have 1,000 people, right? If you 6 or 7x the daily users, it's around like 125 now, 125, 150. So if you 7x that, and you know how to assess that Hustle's giving these similar recommendations to these people, you can essentially front run it, right?
Yeah.
And so then,
but also I think that I love if what I'm about to say comes true, because I think that example that you gave to where, you know, it kind of picks the winners there is like, it will go back and focus on community rather than siphon liquidity or split up liquidity per chain. And TVL, like on Solana, has the most and all this stuff. Like people will just look at the social cues and the narratives and the communities that are stronger. It don't matter where they're from. Like you just buy it from one place. You know what I mean? You're just like, okay, I want to get the B token over there on Binance or whatever. You don't even care. You're just like, okay, Hustle's like B token, huge community, hot narrative. Okay, buy that. and then it grows, and then like, okay, this turtle token is hot. I don't care what chain it's on. You just buy it. I want to get in early.
Yeah, exactly. And we're starting to see that with a lot of the new users. Like when every new generation of crypto users come in and they become less tribal over time. Right? They weren't here for the block wars. They weren't here for the NFT run. They weren't here for Solana's attention cycle. So to them, all that's like old news, right? That's like all boomer shit to them. And obviously then new chains are being created and new ecosystems. And so therefore they're just like, hey, I want to participate in this ecosystem because there is opportunity, because obviously they're the biggest ecosystems, but I also want to find alpha in some of these new ones, right? And so then the newer generations will find their own chain that they commoditize, just like the Zoomers commoditized Solana in this last cycle.
Yeah.
And you could just see this world where it's like, you need these AIs to be able to identify tokens and help people manage all of these ecosystems, to where eventually the chain doesn't even matter for most people because they're just looking to capture
exactly value. But imagine how much more convenient it would be, like when Barachain launched, right? And then like Hustle's already going and stuff. This is already part of their process, and they're like, we're gonna have Barachain this day one is when they launch. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh shit, I don't have to add RPC, I don't gotta go and connect my wallet and all that stuff. I'm just buying it directly from Hustle. Hustle added it. First second it's available. Okay, buy what's the most popular chain? What's getting momentum right now? Okay, this bear coin is going, it's at like 5 million. The users are increasing, even whenever it sells down a little bit. Okay, give me like $500 of that. You know what I mean? So that is the ideal trading experience, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think probably billions of people also agree, right? The web extension experience is going to slowly fade, and it'll probably mostly just be used by the, traditionalists who've been in it for a while. It's hard for me to see a world where the net new users come to crypto are not going to be using LLM experiences, because this is already what they're doing to cheat on their homework, right? Like it's like they're already familiar with it. They're not they don't want to use web extension wallets. They want to use where they have an edge, and that's where they have an edge.
100%. Like I encourage my kids to cheat with AI. Right? Like I encourage it, because in life you're gonna get your job, you're gonna use AI. Right? Dude, if you don't, you're
everybody is always done it. In college,
so I'm just saying, like, I encourage, hey, if you can you got to figure out how to prompt this thing to where you don't get caught. Like, that's what I teach my kids, right? Because that's life. That's the new frontier. And everyone who's living in the past, you're potentially not going to be able to get a job. Yeah. Like, when people who are going to be able to prompt these things are going to be with the people who are the next coders.
Yeah. When I was in college, like, if you didn't use Rate Your Professor, then you were an idiot.
I use that too.
I mean, like, why would you not use that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, every generation, right? It was like this cliche joke when I got into crypto like a while ago, that they were like, every generation comes in and tears the old generation's Ponzi down and builds their own Ponzi, right? And this could be everything from like trading to I guess you'd say like data aggregation to education, etc. I mean, we all, cheated in high school and college, copying people's homework, passing notes, right? You do part of the homework, I'll do part of the homework, and all of these different mechanisms. Trying to use a calculator during your math test, right? Hiding it, trying to put AirPod, or I guess you'd say wired, right? Wired earplugs in your ear with your hoodie over, right? Like all kinds of different stuff. And so, it's just the same. And like those kind of things that we did to get an edge is what we applied to crypto over the last 10 years. But over the next 10 years, the alpha generation and also the Gen Z, they're just all going to be using AI because that's what they've been using for decades. And so, a product like Agent Hustle and also the other products out there are all competing for that, because we all see where that's going. And right now you're in kind of this, like, we're kind of in this like generalist AI terminal era, right? Just as like you could say in 2017 was like the generalist L2 idea era, right? When like Polygon launched, people were launching L2s. Or like the idea in L2, and everyone's like, what the fuck's an L2, right? And then the next cycle in 2021, you had Optimism, and you had Base, and you had Polygon, and everyone was like, oh, scaling, that makes sense, right? They're like, no one's going to come in and try to trade using something that's takes a minute or two to trade, right? And it's kind of the same idea. We're seeing it on Solana with launchpads, right? Like you're going through this like launchpad expansion kind of era, where that's where people had their edge, but that edge is now deprecating. And so then the next is what we keep saying, like the intelligence cycle, is people are going to be familiar with intelligence type products, whether it's using an LLM or using Gemini or using some sort of like neural kind of stuff. Like it's tough to predict what exactly it is, but one thing is pretty obvious is that you have over 1 billion people subscribed to AI or to LLM products. And I think that's going to translate really well to skill sets for those who come into crypto over the next 10 years.
100%. We're paying like $50 a month just to ChatGPT, right? And now I'm going to be paying for Hustle. So thanks for that. But
make sure you got your Hustle.
Yeah. Some alpha in here from Soul Maverick says prompts focused on volume. So pay attention if you guys use Hustle. Prompts focused on volume is key. It helps you find where people are feeding. Makes sense. But you need Hustle configured to know it's not fake volume from the cabal. And we find organic volume in any chain with a prompt. Well, you find the winners, and that's how you need Hustle. That's what you need Hustle prompts to have in the core. Okay, so basically saying, look for the volume, but you got to configure it the proper way so you can, filter out the cabal pumps, because I have seen that. And actually, whenever you pick that token, Shizzy, earlier, that's why I told you to go to the minute chart, because that 15-minute chart just looked like a huge green candle, and I was like, okay, that seems like artificial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, that's an advanced user for Hustle right there, right? So, Soul, we're gonna have to take your course.
I'm up on the trade though. I'm up 26 cents, baby, on a $2.
There we go.
Let's
go.
Yeah. And then Stan comes.
God, I'm sorry.
Last comment. Stan comes, says, Yagobi, you hit the nail on the head. Agents jumping on new project launch faster than light. Yeah, that's the future. I believe that we'll get to with Hustle. And as time goes on, just like any LLM, it gets better.
Yep.
100%.
Exactly, guys.
It's been absolutely amazing, Jake. Thank you so much. I'd love to give you stage one last time. I think you can tell the audience.
It's going to be a big September for all of us, right? We'll have subscriptions here live, working on chain expansions for Hustle. The Migrate Fund community is we finally get the showtime that we've all been waiting for. We've got about 20 projects who are going to come through, be onboarding them here, in the next few weeks, and then we'll be live and we'll see how that impacts the Hustle token. But, we're about to begin kind of the expansion era of Hustle, where we can actually apply tokenomics. The infrastructure is there. It's not always going to be 100% every single time, but if we come in and work every single day at it, then we get to this agentic future that we've been discussing.
Love it, man. Love it. Thank you so much, man.
See you guys. Have a good Friday.
You too.
Absolutely awesome as always, man. It's so great to have Jake here. That was fun. I like messing with Hustle. We gotta do it more often because I feel like we have such an opportunity to sit here and kind of talk with the CEO of the product that could change our lives, right? Which is Hustle, and really change the way trading is done in the future. I feel like we're on the ground floor of something special with Hustle. I really do. I feel like this is like property before the stadium is built, right?
Yes.
I really feel like it's something truly special, and we're just here soaking it all up.
Yeah, and we are going to get that .com kind of innovative period that bursted out in the early 2000s, and you had these teams that started small and were working out of their garage and all the whatever, right? Their backstory is, and with them, they've been grinding in Web3 for the past 4 or 6 years, whatever. And I feel like they're going into their opportunity moment, and there's going to be multiple companies like that. So. Yes, it seems hard because institutions are the ones that are really bringing the liquidity in now, but there will be a time, I promise you, to where this is all, you're going to look back at it and you'd be like, all the time I spent learning and paying attention, it's going to be worth it. I truly believe
100%.
that.
100%, man. Well, that's our show, guys. 646 people in here. Absolutely amazing, man. It's really cool to have all you guys on a Friday hanging out with us for almost 3 hours. But really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Without you guys, we could not do this. We want to always emphasize that every day. We appreciate you guys so much. Always great to finish the week off with our good friend Jake from Emblem Vault. But our partners are also a part of the reason why we can do this, because they, help support us as well. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes or alkanes, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you can earn Amber points. Amber points are an XP point system that are going to be going towards a give back for early adopters of the platform. So the first time you connect your Bitcoin wallet to satsterminal.com, you get 1,000 Amber points. I'm not sure how long that's going to last, but you got to take advantage of it while they're still in season 1. Season 2, that could change to 100. You never know. So take advantage of it. You connect it, you get the 1,000 points. If you make trades, they could be small trades. You continually earn points there. So head over to satsterminal.com today. Also follow them on X at satsterminal and message them on X if you're interested in their beta test group for their borrowing and lending product that they're going to be rolling out. You're going to be able to borrow against your Bitcoin, guys. Exciting stuff from that team. We'll have the CEO back on next Wednesday. So head over to satsterminal.com today. And then Emblem Vault. We just talked to Jake for an hour about Emblem Vault, about Hustle, but let's get into it. Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer. We didn't get into this too much during the segment, but they've been doing this for a while. You can bridge your Bitcoin NFTs like counterparty NFTs or ordinals to Ethereum, and eventually they're going to open that up to other EVM chains as well. An example would be bridging your Taproot Wizard over to Ethereum, taking a loan out against it on the Gandhi application, which is the largest borrowing and lending platform on Ethereum. And you can do that, right? So exciting stuff. They're going to be supporting other chains as well, EVM-wise, and Solana is on the roadmap, I believe, to support. But speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product in the Solana ecosystem with Agent Hustle. We just went over Agent Hustle. You can use Agent Hustle for many things. You have multiple tools in the toolbox. You can filter them out, try to optimize them to get the best results, right? And you got to get good at prompting. So practice, and then Hustle will learn you. He's an LLM, right? So you can use Hustle to grab information, like get me some safe plays in Solana. He'll bring back some options for you. Or you can do conditional trading like Shizzy did earlier. You can set up a trade. Hey, buy this pause token, Peter Pause. And when it drops 20%, sell it when I'm up 100%. He'll handle all of it for you as you step away and do whatever you need to do. There's going to be more integration in the future. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'll let them talk about it, but I'll say, stay excited about Hustle. Also, there is a product within the Hustle ecosystem called migrate.fun. The Emblem team has onboarded about 20 teams that are going to migrate from either Pump Fund or another area to either manage their own LPs or go into the Bonk or another Launchpad ecosystem. So if you are looking to do that, make sure you reach out to the Emblem Vault team and they'll walk you through the process of getting integrated into the second cohort. Super exciting stuff. A lot of attention on it. Head over to migrate.fun if you want to learn more. And lastly, don't forget their parent brand, the Emblem Vault. They have a Bitcoin Runes token, TGE, coming up on block 915,000 for Bitcoin. Once that block happens, these NFTs will open up, but you can purchase them now and after. But they are an ERC 721 on OpenSea. If you search Founder Vaults, you can purchase one of these NFTs. And once Bitcoin gets to block 915,000, these will open up and you'll have a Bitcoin wallet with your Bitcoin runes, the Emblem Founder Vault keys in there. To learn all about everything I just broke down about Emblem and Hustle and Migrate.fun and the Founder Vault keys, head over to emblem.vision today. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to trade for Bitcoin synthetic tokens, you can do this very soon on the Artura platform. You're going to be able to trade Doggo to the Moon, $1 billion cat, possibly Ordi and Sats, whatever the demand is from the Bitcoin ecosystem, they will add it, they mentioned. Also, they're going to be adding TradFi derivatives, synthetic derivatives like MicroStrategy and Coinbase, and we'll see what else they have in that bag of goodies once they add new assets there. But they have the traditional stuff, Bitcoin and Ethereum you can trade right now on as they are live on Botanix. And Botanix getting a lot of attention right now, guys, as they've been added to that government program. So this is good for Artura, in my opinion. But if you go to Artura and you trade on the platform and you add liquidity to their vaults, that's the best way you can earn as many points as possible is the liquidity vaults. But you'll add points as well by making simple trades as well. And you're going to add points on the Botanix side as Botanix is tracking all of the on-chain action there. Head over to Artura.finance to learn more today. And don't forget that every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have a new show with them that we are co-hosting with them for the, I believe it's the Trader's Edge or for every Tuesday. So make sure you join that. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for Bitcoin, Cardano, and now Sui. They're supporting Sui, but you can trade for runes on Bitcoin. You can trade for Cardano tokens. You can trade for Sui tokens, all in their mobile application there. They integrated support. So if you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store, download the application, use it. Let us know your feedback. We'll pass it over to the team. If there's a new feature or something you want added, let us know. We'll let them know. Also, there's a section on their application at the bottom for YouTube channels. You'll find our channel and other crypto channels there as well. Also, they have their token, and you can stake within the application there. Head over to Tokyo.io and learn more there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They have their own AI product called the Wizard. Right now, it is the version 0.3, which guides you through Merlin Chain, but very soon, 0.4 is going to be live for everybody to use. And 0.4, you're going to be able to do cross-chain swaps with the Wizard. You can get information for specific tokens, give me the top 10 wallet addresses, and it's going to be able to do DeFi functions for you across for every chain that support, and of course Merlin Chain as well, like swapping and staking. And if you want to be a part of the proof of stake program there to help secure the chain, there's 3 options. There's staking Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin, which is an average of 16% APR there. It does close September 30th. So if you stake today, you'll have until the 30th, and then it unlocks and you can get your Bitcoin back and your rewards. And then there's 2 options for the Merlin Chain token. There's the flexible, which is a day-to-day. You earn 15% APR. You can claim those rewards daily, roll them up and compound interest them. If you do try to withdraw after you stake, it does take 7 days to cool down, the cooldown period that they have there. And then they have the 6-month option, which is the bonded option. You earn 45% APR if you stake the Merlin Chain token. And you can claim those rewards every day as well and do a compound interest strategy there. So super cool stuff there, guys. This team is constantly rocking and rolling. They're in Hong Kong right now, always working, getting listed on exchanges, doing big things. Super bullish on the Merlin Chain team. Head over to merlinchain.io today. And lastly is our guys from Ordinal Hive. I think they are going to be announcing very soon. They're going to have a mint for an Ordinal collection, guys. And this mint is not just an ordinary mint. It has to do with the exciting, launch that's coming up with the BRC 2.0. Make sure you're following their X account so you can get the exact date and time. And we will update you guys as soon as we get it. I'm thinking around the 2nd, but we'll let them announce that on their X first. But like I said, that's going to be an exciting launch as it has something to do with the BRC 2.0. That's right around the corner. But they are the fastest Ordinal marketplace in the entire market. They are an aggregator, so they grab all from all marketplaces. They're going to find you the cheapest Ordinal. But if you sell your Ordinal, if you receive it right away. You don't have to wait for the blocks and all that stuff. So that is one thing that they boast. Fastest platform there. An awesome team. The CEO, Fonzie, you guys all know him, or most of you guys should. He's an OG in the Ordinal space. So make sure you're paying attention to them as they have that drop coming up. And we'll have an episode with him as well for more detail in that. Head over to ordinalhive.io today. Thank you guys so much for, checking out our show. We know that it's not easy to constantly be plugged in and all that stuff, but you guys continually support us. We're so thankful for you guys.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io. Some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. These are 3-minute reads, guys. These are perfect for somebody like myself who doesn't have a lot of time, but I definitely want to catch up on stuff like this. So definitely check this out. September Fed rate cuts is the new one. Check this one out, and last week's and the week before. You can knock them all out here. If you guys need a VPN, highly recommend NordVPN. If you want to use something like Hyperliquid and you can't, you want to use something like MEXC and you can't. Well, with the VPN, you can. So I definitely recommend this. You guys can get it for $3.09 a month. Lock it in for 2 years. Set it, forget it, be done with it. You can lock it in for 3 months at the same price, but then in 3 months when you come back, they're not going to give you the same deal. Highly recommend just locking it in, set it, forget it. You have a VPN, set it to El Salvador, set it to Italy, set it to Switzerland, wherever you want in the world. You can set and choose your server. Some servers are faster than others. That's why they give you the option to kind of pick and choose where you want to be. And that is the best part about a VPN, because the world is borderless. There's no reason why we got to pay attention to these old men and their lines on 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 the world maps, right? So we can make our own lines with the VPNs. I highly recommend that. And we have merch for any event. You can rock any of our merch here, or you can potentially give us some ideas and some stuff that you would like. Let us know. We can pretty much add anything you guys want, your PFP or whatever, shirts, hats, jackets, and so much more, all through onchainrevolution.io. And remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until Monday.
Peace.
OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.